Welcome, Nawaz, to another Dominions 4 AI Battles. I am your host, the Dunmer Pixelbane here.
And I'm gonna stop doing the voice because I don't think it's coming out that well. It's hard to tell if I'm doing it right when I have my earpieces in. But welcome everybody to another Dominions 4 AI Battles. This is one that I've been looking forward to because it's another faction that I love to play personally, and that is my boys of Relay and their Void Lord God of Dagon. Though it's a little weird. I didn't pick the god for them to be the Dagon thing, because naming Dagon and then having the name of it. So if I named it Dagon, it would be called Dagon the Dagon, which would be a little weird. So Dagon the Void Lord, I feel like it works a little better. Though he's not a fish dude, so that's the problem. But before we get right into this, let us look real quick at the bracket. I decided to have the difference clouds going over on top of this to give some more, I don't know, spooky feeling. And I added a little gif of a Gug dancing down here with the hopes that Relay comes out on top against Atlantis here. But if they don't, I'll be a little upset. But Atlantis' god is Pontos here, the big old man of the sea. But without too much further ado, let us get right into it. It looks like I am going to be playing Bandar Log. And I don't think this turn anything is going to be happening. Hopefully I actually set these guys to AI, and they are. Oh, he got the aggressive type. Okay, so we can check after the first turn. So it looks like Atlantis has the aggressive AI type. Let us check. Oh, and whoa, hold up. So Atlantis didn't make any moves the first turn. That is not a very good place for them to be in. But Relay is making their move. This is very nice. So I was talking about this earlier. The bread and butter, though a little bit expensive unit of Relay, are their Mind Flayers or their Illithids. Basically the same thing. If you play D&D, it's the class of Mind Flayers. They're like part of the Illithid race, which kind of also goes and ties into Lovecraftian like Cthulhu monsters. It all ties together. But their ability of Mind Blast here, it has 100 range. It can race the entire battlefield it has access to. It's got 100% accuracy, so it's gonna hit pretty much anything, whenever they cast it. It does 1 point of damage, but on top of that, it does extra psychic damage, and this is the good thing, it negates armor, and it also can paralyze. It's got a whole lot of good stuff going for them. So they don't only just have commanders that do this. You can see paralyzed is happening here. They have normal bread and butter like Illithid units that they can field. However, most of their other units here, like these mermen and then these shambler like the small shambler thralls here, they're called Lobo Guard. They're not really the best units. There are a lot of fodder units in the army. So despite me wanting Relay to come out on top here, though they routed the independent army, so they took the province, which is good for them. No, they didn't. What? They routed them, and then Relay fled at the same time. So I mean, that's what I thought. There was no commanding unit left in the province for Relay. So that's the outcome that I expected here. But I don't think the AI is gonna mass Illithids, unfortunately. And that's the only way I know how to play Relay. Other than they have, we're gonna get into all of it. Relay's a really complex nation to get into. But here's their god of Dagon. He's got 5 water magic, which gives what does water magic give? Sub level 9. It doesn't give its quickness. It gives defense skill, I believe. So basically like the ability to evade damage essentially. And then it's got 9 astral magic, which gives the ability for sacred units to be buffed with Twist of Fate, which allows them to negate 1 damage attack on them, as well as a bunch of magic resistance, because that's the typical blessing thing that astral magic adds to the thing. It also, Dagon here, has Void Sanity. A very key thing about Relay is their ability to go to this Void Gate here. I think you have to have, I think you have to be a sacred unit or a god or something in order to enter a Void Gate. And it all really depends on your void sanity. You can go insane, you can attack your own province, a lot of different things can go on. So you want someone with high void sanity. So Starchild isn't really the best choice here. I think Starspawn is the best choice if they wanted to go into it. It's got 10 void sanity and it's got 3 summoning skill. I would really like to see the AI really devote a lot of units into summoning from the void, because there's some very powerful eldritch beings that are awaiting Relay to summon them and call them. Though there is also a lot of bad things that can come out of this. Because of this, the domain of Relay has got a lot of turmoil. I felt like that was pretty canon to have basically a chaos nation where their units go mad all the time and you can't control them. I felt like it was pretty canon to have 3 turmoil. It also allowed me to buff up the magic of Dagon a bit. And then I took some drain away because I wanted the AI to focus on summoning rather than like using their people to research, though I have really no control over what the AI does. And then I maxed out luck with the hopes that good events happen during the summoning of rituals for them. As for the normal units of Relay, it's pretty much like a little bit of everything. Like most of these units are like slaves that the Illithids have taken. The main race of Relay are the Illithids, the tentacle people. A lot of these units are pretty crap, I have to say. Though Shambler Thralls are nice because they do have that trample, but a lot of their units aren't very good. I think that's there to balance out Relay just a little bit. As for Atlantis isn't doing anything. They must have a very bad starting position. These 2 water territories must be god-awful for them to take. And while we're at it, let's take a look at the map. The map is all right. Obviously, the number of water territories go up depending on how many water nations there are for random map generation. But yeah, this is a pretty nice water generation of this map. You can basically, these nations can traverse the entirety of the map through the water. All of the water is connected, so they don't have to be forced to go into the land early on. Pontos is also out early. Unfortunately, Pontos is only an aquatic beast, so he can't leave the water, so he can't lead his troops that way, but he does have teleport and blink. Blink is actually, I think, a detriment to Atlantis here, because anything that has fly or blink, the ability to traverse the entire battlefield, most of the time if the AI doesn't set their priorities right, just teleport into a huge group of enemies and instantly be killed. But he has 9 water magic, which allows him to buff, or any priest rather, to buff the sacred units to give them quickness, which is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. As for the units of Atlantis, we have some of the same units that Relay has because of the slavering of Relay. So just a lot of Atlantean dudes. They're all right. I mean, they have some pretty decent defense skills, but like they're not really that good. Like they're passable. Like these earlier ones are pretty shit. I wouldn't even bother building them. I would build Atlantean infantry before like even considering militia. And it seems like what the AI is doing here. They're going for coastal guards, right? These are the coastal guards? Yeah, or coral guards rather. Whoops. And they're all right. They don't have the shields, but they do have some decent damage, and they have the magical effect of poison, also on poison barbs for hits. Shamblers are always nice. We've seen how powerful War Shamblers are. And Mother Guard is all right, pretty good too, but their cavalry unit I actually like a whole lot. War Lobster here, because it's got Trampler, and you know everything that's got Trample I just love. And they just got like a pretty average selection of commanding units. They obviously have their seers for like research and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. As for their domain, they also have a 2 in Turmoil. I think I had to put that there in order to like make him come out on turn 1 and still have two magic bonus for his domain, 1 luck, 1 growth, and 1 production. And this production and growth is actually gonna come into play with the extra 50% that both nations are getting. And Relay is actually not making a move either, so I think we're stalling out a little bit here. But you can definitely see that the domain strength of Dagon is higher than that of Pontos of Relay. So maybe we're gonna have another theological game, simply because these nations are being like trapped. Oh man, the strength of Relay's Dominion is really, it's like it went up 1 in both of these provinces, and it's causing the Dominion strength of Atlantis to go down. Or it might be Bandar Log, which the the nation that I am currently playing that isn't set on AI. But we have Relay going to the Blackwaters, a very interesting name of a province. They have like a madman seer, slave priest. It's pretty much the same thing, and they're building some of the soldiers, and all of the mind flayer units, all of the illithids have access to the ability to attack anything on the map, and you have to really value that. Maybe I overvalue it. I do that all the time. I mean, I'm not a master at this game. I haven't put tens of thousands of hours in the game. I've put maybe 300 to 400 max into Dominions. But when you have a move that is almost 100% accurate in all scenarios, with the reach of the entirety of the map, it looks like actually Atlantis is pushing out, so that's good for them. Before we move on, let's see. They're both set to aggressive by random chance, so that's actually should be nice. We might see actual conflict this match rather than a theological victory. But going back to the Mind Flayers, if you have the ability to attack anything on the map, the AI that controls the battle, the thing about Dominions is that you don't have control, even if you're playing as a human, you don't have any control over these battles. They're played out for you depending on the tactics that you have set for your units and where you've placed them on your side of the map. Those coil guards are actually pretty decent. They hit pretty hard, and the poison damage is coming through. But going back to the Mind Flayers, I gotta finish this thought. If they can hit like a commanding unit just by happenstance, that commanding unit's gonna be paralyzed. It's very likely that'll be hit again because it's obviously being targeted. That commanding unit's gonna die, and it's gonna cause the rest of the force to flee. So you can technically win like seemingly unwinnable battles just by random luck as Relay, depending on what your illithids target. And the more you have, the higher the chance of you just making crazy windfall victories that normally you wouldn't be able to do. But Atlantis is moving on to land. Are these poor amphibians or full-on amphibians? Oh, they're full-on amphibians. So that's actually a good sign for Atlantis here. Of course, they gotta be full amphibians. I don't know what my brain's thinking. Poor amphibians is the debuff to water movement. Of course, they have like full water movement. I don't know what my brain's thinking. But they were unable to take a very simple fight. I'm not too sure. Did they lose their commander here? I hit the wrong button. Let's see. Yeah, they lost their commander. See, that was a very bad call for them. They fielded their commander close, probably fielded him in the center of their center mass of their assaulting force, and as such, he was just taken out because he wanted to rush in. A lot of unexpected events. We get some astral pearls, 2 units of cursed. What the heck? They got a free item. That's good for them, I guess. But Relay now, I mean, I don't know. Both factions have only 2 territories, so I mean, it's not the end of the world for either faction here. But if we just look at the unit count, it's not really that good for Relay. It's a little bit better for Atlantis, but they do have a lot of trash, as we saw with. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with me, but as you like this decent sized force. I'm not gonna lie. Let's take a look at this. They have 40 units. However, that's a very weird placement for their commanding unit. It's once again in the center mass of their troop, but we saw Relay building up more and more. 16 death gems, holy crap. Building up more and more of their Mind Flayers. Unfortunately, they're not building anything this turn, which is a little strange. But if we look at the unit construction here, that's a lot of Mind Flayers, and they'll definitely be putting these Mind Flayers in some of these territories. So if Atlantis decides to get all aggro and take out this Relay province with the church, there will be hell to pay. And unfortunately, we're not getting that just yet. It looks like they really want the Olantava territory. They should take it this time. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. That's a lot of shamblers, though their commanding unit, their commanding officer's right here. I'm pretty sure he can take out all of these, but there's 3 enemy commanders right. Oh no, not again! This is what I'm talking about. Let this be a lesson to anyone who wants to play this game, which I recommend everyone to pick up this game. Maybe not when it's full price. It's a little pricey if I still remember how much it costs. I mean, I want you guys to support Illwinter because I love them and their games, but you know, I can understand maybe looking at this and not really trusting how much fun you can get out of it. But believe me, the Dominions games are a hell of a lot of fun. But they like obviously there's a macro focus of this game because you have no micro over like battles, and these neutral sea trolls are doing some freaking work on these shamblers. But you have to place your units. You have to maximize the amount of limited micro you have by putting your units and commanding them before battle in an intelligent way. You do not want your commanding officers to decide to flank around your main force and get killed. That's the worst thing to happen. That's what allows upsets, and what we've seen it twice so far by Atlantis here. And Atlantis lost that territory to Sea Trolls, and I doubt either faction rather, is going to be taking that territory anytime soon. The Sea Trolls are relatively strong. The regeneration really comes into... Oh, they're doing it! They're summoning 2 othernesses. Okay. They're using Star Childs, I think. Or wait, no, they're using this dude. So they're not using Star Childs, thank God. And they're actually going for Star Spawns. So that makes me think that they're not going to be using the Star Spawns for summoning, because if they wanted to go the summoning, they would go for the other Star Spawn, the one with the summoning skill, but less research ability, less magic, as it were. But as you can see, it looks like a potential territory taking next turn by Relay, so we can hope. But let's look. So these are one of the least exciting summons you can get. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not terrible at all. I love them, but I'm talking about the design of them. They have a fuck ton of HP, close to 50. They have trample. They're sacred, which I didn't know they were sacred. I knew they had regeneration and trample. They're also amphibians, which really comes into play. I think a few of the elder spawns or eldritch beings are only aquatic, which kind of sucks. Mindless, which limits the amount of commanders that can take them. But this is a very good unit. Sure, there's like a risk reward type of thing going on here where you can't like always know what's gonna happen. You might get screwed when you're attempting to summon. But I mean, come on. That is a very good unit. They got 2 of them for free, essentially. They had to have the opportunity cost of potentially losing one of their dudes. The wet ones have been bought by Atlantis. I honestly believe that they needed to at this point. Oh, thanks, Alleycat, for the host, or watch, rather. Welcome back. I hope you can enjoy this match. And let's continue on. Atlantis is going out now, thank goodness. They should be using the wet ones, and they are indeed using the wet ones. Will they be able to take the sea trolls out? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, hey Alleycat, how you doing? How are you doing tonight? Or probably like morning or something for you, because I think you're on the other side of the planet. But the wet ones were able to kill the sea trolls, so that's a good sign for Atlantis. I don't want to be a completely one-sided person only cheering the factions that I love. This is a very weird attack. What is going on here? What is it? Okay, I'm sorry, but that attack, it doesn't make any sense. Why did Atlantis think they could take that? Going onto land with only one of their units? Hey, Shard. Yeah, man, everyone's gotta love Dominions. Dominions is great. Oh, it's your birthday tomorrow? Golly, well, happy early birthday, because I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, but happy birthday, Allie. All right, let's see what Relay is really doing. They keep summoning, so this is good. Let's see what they summoned here. Oh, they got one of these guys. They can't move, unfortunately, so this is like, I would rate one of these summons a little bit lower. They're a good defensive unit. And if you have the ability to teleport them around, that really helps out too. But they got the Mind Blast that all the Mind Flayers have, and they're also sacred. So it's a decent summon, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best that Relay could hope for here. Let's see. Atlantis, though, they're going ham. They're trying to take territories left, right, and center. They're making some bad calls. but these wet ones should be able to kill these elephants, maybe? The counterattack by the elephants is gonna be severe. No, the mercs are going down. The commander's right in front of an elephant. That elephant gets another, like maybe another attack after this. They're gonna break. Yep. Maybe. I don't know. I thought that was the commanding unit. That is the commanding unit. I guess they're gonna. Are they gonna hold against the? No way. Okay. So unfortunately, even with the help of mercs, Atlantis is still not being able to get a foothold onto the land. But they're actually trying to take territories, which is like more to say than like you can say about Relay. Relay is kind of like just sitting on their laurels here, and then not really doing anything. They took a territory within like the first turn or like the second turn, and then they decided just like, nah, we don't want to take any more territories. We have the aggressive personality, but we don't want to do anything. But that is a lot of Coral Guard. That is a lot of Coral Guard coming out by Atlantis. So this is their main force. Thank goodness they're actually making a concerted effort on attacking. I still am really confused by the last turn attack when they just sent one of their commanding officers. Oh, that was just blew my mind. We've seen the AI do that before, and it wasn't like he was discovered. He sent himself out there because the computer was confident they could take a fight against like 3 or 4 horsemen and a bunch of other militia. But it actually looks like Relay took a territory. I was confused. They had 3 territories, so they take this one. We're a little bit spoiled, but Soth Bever, they're doing it. Okay, so they have the AI set up right. They are doing the strats of just massing mind flayers. Look at this. All these units are paralyzed, and they're gonna probably die within the next barrage. The great thing about the paralysis effect by the mind flayer, and we're gonna get some weird audio effects coming out if you can even hear the game from all these mind flayer mind blasts happening all at once. But the good thing about it is that if you get a decent number of them, not only are you doing damage, you're paralyzing the enemy. So you're like dividing their forces up, making it easier for your units to get the advantage in battle. So you don't even need to have more like infantry than your opponent. You just need to have like a decent number of mind flayers, and then just have a strong, semi-strong front line. And it's almost like really impossible to lose at that point, because mind flayers themselves are relatively strong. They have 28 hit points for the soldiers. And if like enemies rush them, or at least obviously the Illithid soldiers, they have some decent armor, about equal to the armor that Atlanteans have. So I mean, it's not the best in the world, but they also have tridents that do magic damage. On the other hand, the normal Illithids only got the life drain move, which actually can save them, but it's a little less combat able. They have the same hit points but no armor at all, so they take damage like a mofo. Maybe next turn we're gonna see a very large Atlantean assault on Relay. You never know. They both have the aggressive AI. They're both at each other's borders. But it looks like Atlantis is not ready for that commitment. They're going onto land with their Shamblers and Coral Guards. I don't see any reason why they don't take this. This is a bunch of militia and swordsmen, and I guess a few archers in the back. I would like to see a little bit less of the Coral Guards coming from Atlantis. Coral Guards are, I think, their highest normal infantry, so it's good to see them coming out. But I would like to see more of their like tier 2 Shamblers, not like just normal Shamblers. I want to see War Shamblers. War Shamblers are really tanky and they can really dish out the damage. And it looks like actually Relay. I don't think Relay's doing anything this turn again. They keep getting gems because of how lucky they are. I mean, there's that, so it could help them in the magic domain for casting things, but unfortunately they have 3 drain scale. Though, so far, Yarny Zai here, the guy going into the portal here, or the magic site to summon the eldritch beings from beyond the void, he hasn't gone insane yet, so, I mean, that's pretty good. But, I don't know. As I said, I always let you guys know my biases. I want my Relay boys to win. I want my mixture of Lovecraftian and D&D boys to win. But at this point, Atlantis is showing very strong resolve and is taking land territories, whereas Relay is starting to stall. even if they don't take this, which there's no reason them not to, they've attempted to take this province 2 times now. This is the 3rd time. So all that's left are basically the 3 enemy. What? Holy shit, are they unlucky? Oh my god. That's the 3rd time they've attempted to take that province away from those 3 enemy commanders. And every time they lose their commander and they break. Every time the Shambler Chief or whatever they have, that is so unlucky for them. Okay, so MVPs, no matter who wins, those 3 like commanding units from Olan Tova, they're champs. They are champs. They've defended against large forces 3 different times without getting any reinforcements because they're neutrals. Oh man, but even with that, I mean, I guess Atlantis only has 1 additional territory over Relay at this point. But you gotta think of it in like a wider sense. The computer doesn't like to declare war even if they're on aggressive, unless they are really confident that they can win. We got 3 Elder Things from the summon. Let's check that out. Additional income also as a good event for them. Or these are the also unmovable ones. No, these ones can move. Okay, so these guys can move, so that's good. They also have the Mind Blast. They have the Paralyze for less range, obviously. They're amphibian. These are not the very good ones to have, but they do have Mind Blast, so it's effectively like a free Mind Flare for you. So that always is nice to see. But what the AI is doing here for Atlantis is going to make it really hard for Relay to move out. They're basically forced to go onto land at this point. That's all they can do, because what Atlantis is doing is making them completely like cut off from the rest of the map. And if Atlantis keeps pushing on this line, they're going to starve Relay of resources, because they're never going to be in a situation where they're confident they can take a fight. And it looks like that's what they're doing. They're taking this. They're probably going to take this land province. I don't see why they wouldn't. Let's see. I mean, I can't even make calls anymore. They have their like mother guards or whatever. Yeah, they have their mother guards, which are their sacred units here. But I can't call it, because this like Elder Seer in the back can take 1 arrow and then he'll be gone. We've seen this happen to Atlantis over and over and over again on this match. Though I think at this point there's too many Shamblers and Mother Guards here. There's tier like, I guess I'll call these tier 2 Shamblers. They're not the War Shamblers, but they do have the Chainmail and the Shield. Is it Chainmail? No, it's Shark Skin. So it's a little bit less on the defense, but it's still better than nothing. But it looks like Atlantis was able to take it, so that's good for them. I mean, I wouldn't be completely devastated if my boys at Relay lose, though I would probably cry myself to sleep a little bit. But I can't be disappointed when I see a showing by a nation. Like this military might that Atlantis is pumping out right now is no joke. This is a lot of high-tier infantry being put out by one nation right now. They're showing some land dominance right now, which is nice to see coming from one of the aquatic nations. Aquatic nations, in my opinion, and I think a lot of like the general consensus of Dominions, is that they're less strong. Sure, they have like some nations don't have amphibious troops like immediately available to them, which make them those factions really bad. Though Atlantis seems to be relatively well balanced. Casting reanimation. What the heck is going on here? Vastness. I want to see the one summon that's like a bunch of like molecules or atoms. Like I want to see if they get that guy. And oh, there it is. Okay, so there it is, the vastness. This motherfucker wrecks shit. As you can see, how many mind blasts he gets per turn. He gets 4 mind blasts per turn. He's effectively 4 mind flares for the slot of 1 person. It's just incredibly crazy here. He's decently quick. He's got the ability to blink, so that kind of goes against it, but he can steal the strength of units around him, so if he teleports in, it's not that bad of a thing. He's got 74 HP, but he's got 0 protection. But he's got damage reversal as well, so it's basically like the blood magic tier. If you get like 9 or 10 into blood magic, you can get like the damage reversal, so it's basically like that. But he's got level 2 of that. It's just, he's just a very good unit, to say the least. A lot of resistances, immune to storms. That is a very lucky summon for them. But is it enough? I don't think that on its own, it won't be able to stand up to the giant force that Atlantis is putting out here. And Atlantis might even take me out as my nation. Oh, but here we go. I think the vastness was what set things up here. Relay decides to go in on this assault of the Typhoon Sea. And they're fielding the vastness and Dagon and all of these mind flayers. A bunch of these, like, I don't even know what they're called anymore, but the slug things is always how I refer to them. They got the trample and the regeneration and all that. The Shark Knights I don't like to see a whole lot. Oh man, you can already hear the distortion of the audio being played all at once. But yeah, this army right here probably can take almost any territory that doesn't have a fort just because of the amount of Mind Blasts per turn you can put out. I would say like maybe they have 20, at least 20 Mind Blasts per turn. That's 20 units that can't do anything. And just to put it in perspective, armies at this point in the game typically are about 100 in size. So if you can negate 1/5 of the enemy's advance, and then before they even get to you, another 1/5 of their forces and not killing some of them, it's very nice. Yeah, Shard, the vastness is very good. It's like, I don't know if there's a better one, but every time I played Relay, I would always hope to get the vastness, just because of the amount of mind blasts it gets. And I'm pretty sure that like that's how you have to play Relay, at least in the middle ages of Relay, is that you have to go heavy on the Mind Blast and go heavy on the attempts to summon things from the Void Portal. Otherwise, your normal slave units just don't really cut it at all. Even they're just trash units that just die way too quick. More reanimation by Lugux. And a bunch of unexpected events, just water gems and death gems. I mean, that's really nice for them. It helps out their mages, helps out being the ability to maybe boost some of their magic. But the drain scale of their provinces is not going to really be conducive to magic research, unfortunately, for Relay. Atlantis is actually, oh, well, okay, so Atlantis now going on the offensive too, but first, we're going to have a Relay attack on Yieldmeyer. Yieldmeyer? Is that how it is? So they broke up their forces. They have Dagon. They're fielding Dagon with only one Mind Flayer. This might... I mean, they're going to take it because there's not really a whole lot of defensive forces being fielded here. I think there's only like... I don't even know if they actually have any forces other than like the local militia here. So there's no way they stand up to the amount of Shambler thralls we have here. Shamblers are just going to like... Yeah. That trample's just too nice. Though you never know. The Void Lord of Dagon might die, though it's unlikely. He actually got close. The poison damage was taking him down there. That would have been very bad for Relay, but they were able to take the province without even fielding the massive forces that they have of Mind Flayers. Though this counterattack by Atlantis is definitely going to be taken by Atlantis. Though you never can be too sure whenever there's a Mind Flayer fielded, and that Mind Flayer just might get lucky. And whatever reason, target the enemy commander. This looks like a pretty much foregone conclusion against neutrals. I didn't actually mean to hit that one to fast forward this up. I don't even think they lost any units. Maybe they lost like one or two of the lesser tier of infantry. I don't think they lost any Coral Guard or anything. So that was a very good assault by Atlantis. Let's take a look at the map. It's kind of difficult because like all the factions are blue color, but just looking at it, Atlantis I think has just a better position to possibly win this. Though if we go to Relay is actually taking another neutral territory. So if they take this, this turn is basically equal for both parties. Actually, no, never mind. This is an assassination attempt, which fails. Unfortunately. So that's not very good. So that turn definitely goes to Atlantis. Atlantis had a much better turn. Let's check the score graphs. Let's turn off Bandar log because we don't need to see my points. As for provinces, yeah, about double the number of provinces Atlantis has over Relay. Income is it's jumping all over the place for Atlantis here. A steady growth, kinda, for Relay. So I mean, I guess that's okay for them. They need a little bit more income, obviously, to like sustain the Illithid armies here. But oh my god, holy crap, they have a larger army than Atlantis. And you gotta keep in mind, I'm pretty sure this army size thing doesn't count like army value, it's just actual units. And a lot of the units that Relay is fielding are Illithids. They're very expensive compared to just normal trash. So the fact that Relay has a larger army, I think if I was Atlantis, I'd be a little scared. Relay could definitely, possibly take them out if they got really aggressive here. And this is a full-on war. Full-on war is going on. 2 assaults by Atlantis, 2 assaults by Relay, 1 Atlantis assault on a neutral, and we can't check Relay until after this, so we don't know if Relay's going after the neutrals. I think Atlantis is taking this, but as I said, you never know. They just have to get really lucky on the Paralyze, or Mind Blast rather. That's the only way they have of winning. But it doesn't look like they're gonna hit the Mind Blast. Goodbye, Relay. The territory goes to Atlantis, so Atlantis is +1. Territory is gained here. Attacking the Blackwaters, which is right by the capital. This might be a little bit too aggressive at this point for Atlantis, seeing as how the counterattack is definitely going to be real by the forces of Relay. So if these forces do not move next turn, there's going to be heavy casualties on the side of Atlantis, but Atlantis takes that as well, so they're +2. I would be hard-pressed to believe that Relay doesn't take 2 territories here, seeing as how this first assault is just the Shambler group, and we're against more militia. I don't know when we're gonna have an actual like battle between both forces here, but I feel like it's coming soon. And there's actually, they have Animate Dead set up, so that also helps them out, just getting a bunch of fodder units on the field. So far Atlantis is only +1 on territories here. Are the commanders gonna do it again? Hold up. Oh no, there's only one. No, okay, there's 3 commanders left. Oh, okay, was that the, okay. So they almost potentially lost that again. The Shambler Chief got the flank again on one of the commanding units. If they lost that battle for the 4th time, I would have lost my shit. But they finally took Olantova. So far, +2 territories to Atlantis here. Though, this is the scary force. This is the scary force. This is the force of nightmares. They have the thing that should be not be named. It's not really one of the better ones, but he's relatively tanky with 59 HP, and he's got double life drain. So he's tanky in the sense that he's got HP regen, kind of like Blood DKs used to be in World of Warcraft, Wrath to the Lich King. So that's good to see. So far, okay, so Atlantis is +1. That really goes to their fact that they took a neutral territory here. So if Relay takes a neutral, no, unfortunately, they do not take a neutral territory. So Relay, slightly on the back foot here. Maybe not on the army size side of things. Seeing as how they probably could actually lay siege to Atlantis' main kingdom right here at any point. Especially with this large of a force. They might not be able to like break the barriers, but they would definitely be able to like hold off any assault, I would feel. Like any attempt to break the siege rather, or reinforcements from other territories. Only 1 assault on Atlantean grounds here. Though when I see assaults by the God Force, you know, I have to get excited when Dagon's being fielded. I just realized that they decided to field all the things with trample basically in one group. It's like, it's ridiculous. They put the Shambler Thralls and whatever the slime boys that I always forget their name. Yeah, Shard. It would be incredibly scary if they buffed the fastness in pretty much any way. Plus, he's sacred, I believe, right? I believe all, if not most, of the summons from the portal are sacred, so he will get the buffs from the like sacred buff. So he gets Twist of Fate. So even if he gets hit, he gets that damage. He gets the bonus magic resistance. Oh man, we have a real battle here. A real battle. We got the defending Mind Flayers and the Vastness against an assaulting force of Atlantean units. As you can see, like half of the Atlanteans, maybe a third, have been paralyzed, unable to join the assault, while the slower these fodder units back here are really freaking useless. But the slower thing that should be not named is going to be getting to the flank here. This is like morale damage to the next level. Some of the commanders that are getting hit by in the back line could be killed at any moment. But yeah, the Vastness here. Let me check to make sure he's sacred before I make any things. But yeah, so he gets Twist of Fate. He gets the 3 magic resistance. He gets the 2 defense skill as well. So it makes him a little bit more tanky, which is nice for him. Let me read chat. Shard's talking about stuff. Gotta read it. Yeah, man. We basically have to hope for whatever the AI decides to do here. But hopefully they start to make some good calls with their magic research and their buffing and unit choice. But unfortunately, I have no control over what the AI does here. That's the beauty of it. Vastness is actually getting into like close quarter combat here. I'm not entirely surprised that their front line of really crap infantry, merman infantry, died so quick. But yeah, Atlantis should be completely routed. There's no way they can stand up to this force. The Vastness coming in, doing its thing, stealing some strength, doing its thing. Oh man, I just love it so much. I love Relay. Relay's gotta win. I gotta see them in later rounds. They can't fail me now. They have to succeed. All right, let's take a look at the map here. Very, very good turn for Relay. Not only did they defend against the onslaughts of Atlantis, I guess they didn't take an assault here, but they were able to defend both territories and take one as well. So that works out for them too. Oh, let's see what the success. What did they get? 1 visitor responded. Let's see. Okay, so it was one of these things from beyond. Not the best. I don't really like things from beyond so much. So that was probably like the least effective summon for them. Let's see what Relay's doing here. Another big turn of potential territory switches, which is weird that the military strength is definitely going the way of the Relay here, but they're not being the aggressor in these situations. We're seeing Atlantis being more of the provocateur of battles. And it definitely seems like Relay is splitting their forces up. The Shambler force is getting split so many times at this point. We're about at like the third of the Shambler size. And what we need to see is not have these militiamen go up first and get killed instantaneously and break. These Shamblers need to get to the front line, and they need to start trampling through these Mother Guards and Coral Guards. Oh, they got a visitor. Okay. That's why he didn't pop up. Thanks, Shard. My brain is not functioning. Clearly not functioning. They got the commander hero. Okay, so the visitor is a commanding unit. So we can check him out next time. But see, I don't know if these Shambler Thralls are going to be able to do this. Going against this relatively large force of sacred units, essentially. Probably the highest tier unit, that Atlantis can field here. If they didn't split their forces up, they probably would have been able to take this and cause massive economic damage to Atlantis. Because you have to really invest in a lot of points of research, holy points, and gold in order to get those guys. So if they were able to successfully defend there, that would have been very good for Relay. Unfortunately, they did indeed lose because they decided to split some of these Shamblers off. Looks like the forces are being joined again. We have we got these guys again. What are they? Elder beings. They have the Mind Blast as well. They're like free versions of Illithid Mind Flayers. But this is pretty much a guaranteed victory. I mean, not pretty much, it is a guaranteed victory. The enemy forces were outnumbered and there was mind flayers on the field. Though, that being said, I think most of these territories that Atlantis is going to be attacking are going to be free game. I'm sure there's some of these slime dudes which have trample and regen, but the trash units of mermen and then like the trash like Atlantean slaves, they die too quickly. Like even when you decide to field like the cheaper option for infantry, which is like in my opinion the Shambler Thrall, which is not really an infantry class unit at all. That's basically what you're shoehorned into if you were gonna be playing Relay and you don't have like the desire to go Mind Flayers. Like that's your really only other option here, mainly because all of your other units are just so fragile and unarmored. They have terrible like morale stats because they're slaves and all. But unsurprisingly, this defense failed. Oh, we got a free Stargazer for Relay, so let's actually check out. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember the visitors now. Yeah, so this weird jellyfish thing is the visitor hero. How did I forget about this guy? I do not know, but he's another one with blink and teleport and all of these other things. He's a commanding unit with 2 mind blasts. I forgot he had 2 mind blasts. But that's kind of, he's all right. I mean, he's not bad, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you have a normal unit of the vastness, I mean, and then we have a commanding unit that has less mind blast, you know, it's a little underwhelming. It feels like the vastness should be a commanding unit, while the visitor itself should maybe be a normal unit, like a normal infantry unit. But it's always nice to get more mind blasts, essentially for free, with very little opportunity cost. It looks like Giuseppe, right? Giuseppe? Yeah, Giuseppe. Giuseppe's pikemen should be taking this territory, no problem. They're gonna lose a few pikemen, but you know, when you have mercs, it doesn't really matter. So Atlantis was able to take that territory, move further onto land. They have sight, and they're about to like surround my territory, Bandar Log. Maybe, perhaps, they're gonna go for a kill on Bandar. But before that, let's actually check to see the amount of Dominion that I have. I think it's gonna be a little while before I'm Dom killed out of this game. So maybe a theological victory isn't gonna be on the horizon here. I guess it's possible. There's a bunch of low-level candles around, but they're in territories far and wide. Excuse me. So I think it's actually more plausible at this point that I'm just killed by one of the factions rather than Dom killed. Another big turn. This is very good to see. These factions seem to be like pissed at each other to no end, which is good to see. The last match that I streamed, versus I already forgot. Versus I think it was Pythium. They never declared war on each other. It was a complete theological victory, so they won through the Dominion. They never fought each other, other than discovering assassination attempts. And that's it. But watching this game again, like I haven't played Relay since the last time that I've played Dominions 4. So I started playing Dominions 4 like maybe a month ago again, like getting into it, and then I was like, you know what I should do? I should start an AI tournament, because it was always on my mind when I was originally playing it 2 years ago when I was in college. But yeah, I haven't played Relay since like 2 years ago or whatever, when I was playing it back in the day, like non-stop. So like watching Relay summoning all these guys, like all these guys that I can't remember the names to, but I remember what they look like. It's making me feel nostalgic. But Relay is being routed because they just fielding trash units for whatever reason. And you gotta respect anything with the poison glaives or poison barbs, if they're the mother guards or the commanding units. Because, you know, they do a lot of damage over time if they just hit once. So that was a very bad assault by Relay. Looks like Giuseppe's mercs, I don't know actually. Will Giuseppe's mercs be able to take this? Maybe, yes, I think so, yeah. I thought they would lose more by the point that the two armies collided. I don't know, actually. Giuseppe's causing some friendly fire damage with his fireflies. Oh, but they were able to take it. There was massive damages dealt to the mercs, so I don't know if Atlantis is going to be able to take any more territories with Giuseppe alone. Another Mind Flare force. I like how they keep changing up how they have their illithids put up something. Sometimes they're in two groups, that was an instant victory. We didn't even get to see the enemy. But Atlantis was like wiped out instantaneously. I love it so much. We got another Mercs force being fielded. I think this is Atlantis is fielding this one. Pretty sure this is Atlantis' turn. And it looks like they're easily gonna take this. I don't know. Commanding unit, what are you doing? What? Okay, so definitely just like bog standard neutral commanders. I know I'm gonna stop the stream running a little bit right here, but I gotta write it down so that I remember. They're my meme unit. They've fucked up. These units right here fucked up Atlantis 5 times in this game. 5 times. Those units alone have screwed the advancements of Atlantis. Oh my god. They're too good. They're too good. The hard counter to Atlantis seems to be neutrals. Neutral commanders, it would seem. But I don't know. Relay's really struggling here. Not necessarily in terms of Dominion, because if you look on this map, Atlantis is actually, I don't know how much Dominion they're growing on the field, but the fact that Relay has 1 candle, 1 province away, actually 2 candles on 2 different provinces, 1 province away from the cap, that's not a good sign to be in. If I get Dom killed at any point soon, I think Relay's gonna win just because of their lead in their Dominion. And I think we can really attribute that to them fielding Dagon. Dagon's being fielded everywhere, and when your god's on a province, he starts spreading Dominion in that province. So I think actually this is gonna go to maybe, I don't know. Atlantis definitely has late game lockdown with the amount of expansion that they're putting out onto the field here. But if this game ends sooner rather than later, I think Relay has it in the advantage slot. Looks like the swordsman unit now. Man, like all the human-based mercs are being fielded in this game. I don't know. Are they gonna hold? They're about at the point where they're gonna break because they lost more than half their units. Yep. These mercs are just like the worst. I mean, they're not the worst mercs that I've seen, but they're definitely not very good mercs. They're no elephant mercs. They're no like Ichthyid warriors. Giuseppe, don't get me wrong, I love Giuseppe's mercs. Giuseppe's mercs are always nice. But it's like they're no Hobbit Bergmeisters. I love my hobbits. But I stand corrected. I thought Giuseppe wasn't gonna be able to push any further with such a attrition force. But man, they got the money's worth out of Giuseppe's force. They got 3 territories, 3 turns in a row, just using Giuseppe, and I'm almost like gonna be surrounded at this point. Relay definitely needs to make some moves, and it looks like they have been making some moves. They potentially take 3 territories here. Oh, they broke off Dagon from one of their main elephant forces. That elephant just got brain fucked. Like, Jesus. It just got hit with like, I don't know, like 20 mind flayers at once? It's easy prey too. When you're paralyzed, you don't get an attack, so you're just gonna get destroyed by the thing that should not be named. Or just like the myriad of really bad Atlantean slaves. Oh my god. You know, I honestly was worried because I don't ever really recall fighting against a component rather that is playing Relay. Typically when I create games, I don't like to put my opponents on random. I like to put them on basically factions that I don't play myself. Basically so that I can learn like the strengths of other factions. Sure, like if the computer's playing something that I know, sure I'll know something about like versus Relay in a different manner, but also I don't like to see my own races destroy me, or the races that I like to play like kill me out. But I was worried when I started doing this. I was worried that Relay was just gonna mass their like shitty normal units. Like even the Shambler Thralls that we saw in that assault, they're not very good. They have Trample, which is good in the early game that allows you to kill trash units, but we're at this point in the game where factions are fielding really strong top tier infantry, mid tier infantry. They don't stand a chance to even get to that attacking phase. Most likely they just die before they even get the trample off. And since their size class isn't high enough, they don't really do a whole lot of trample damage to begin with. Dagon's in a dangerous position here. Though he is getting support by the slime dudes. So the slime dudes and the trample, I think he should be able to take this territory. Like, the trample is pretty good, so they're able to take. But like, even the shambler thralls, they're weak. And obviously they balanced relays so that was gonna be the reason. So one greater otherness was summoned. I have no idea what that is. Doesn't look like it's a hero. Oh, it's the, okay, so it's the big slime dude. It's the bigger slime dude, the one with like 90 HP and trample. Like, I can't remember if they say the size class anywhere here. I don't know if there's like, if you click on one of these, you get the size class, but it's got to be a larger size class than the smaller dudes. But Relay's having a strong turn here. I'm not gonna sell them short here. There was a good set of turns. They lost one territory to Atlantis, but they still have Dominion in all of these territories. And since the main game mode here is win by Dominion, they don't necessarily have to win by complete world domination. We have the Merc Swordsman Force going. I don't think they're taking this. That is a lot of enemy knights, though they have them set in the line formation, so that allows them to get the surround easier. But if you look right here, we have the Merc Commander, almost completely exposed here. He could die at any moment, causing this assault to be completely taken away. We have the enemy commanders, and this is going to be a win for Atlantis here. So that's good for them. It was really close. There was like a time there that they could have lost the commander again and caused themselves to break, but they were able to take it, so that's good. But that was all they could really do. They get some resources by random chance, obviously killing some brigands because they have a lot of units fielded. And they bought some more mercs. But as you can see, they're surrounding my territory of Bandar Log. Get some fire gems by random chance. I don't think I'm going to be taken out anytime really soon here. I have Dominion on plenty of territories, so Relay really needs to step it up. They're going to start to lose their Dominion advantage if Atlantis keeps taking land territories. And if they don't defend their territories as well, like Atlantis seems to just like be counterattacking nonstop because they have more smaller forces here. Oh my god, look at this. This turns crazy. Okay, so Atlantis is making an assault on the Typhoon Sea, so a counterattack on a counterattack on a counterattack at this point. It might be close. If these thralls are tied to the othernesses, I don't know, can they break? They're gonna win just because of the othernesses being able to like just hold out. But that's almost all of the shamblers gone from the retinue of Dagon himself. And Dagon's really exposed now. He has no one defending him. And it looks like okay, so it looks like Relay hired the Longbowman squad. This is not a good situation for them to be in. They have the low ground, and if these guys get up close, do these even have daggers? Okay, they have short swords. Okay, so they can skirmish. Okay, and they're decent at skirmishing, and they were able to rout. Okay, so I was valuing these guys by themselves a little low, simply because archers have lower morale. If that fight went on a little bit longer, Atlantis would have won just simply because they got units to the front line. Oh my god, so they got the Necromancer Merc. Atlantis got the Necromancer Merc. This is a very good Merc, to say the least. He has Animate Dead, and he's got a bunch of skeletons in his army. Skeletons don't break, so this is a very good pushing force. Very Airmorian. And plus, I like myself some necromancers. If you guys have been watching for any length of time, you know how much I like necromancers and liches and skeletons. Too spooky for me, and but like pretty much anything undead. My favorite D&D expansion for 3.5 was the Libris Mortis, the Book of the Dead. So Atlantis gets some style points for hiring the necromancer merc. And these cave dudes are not actually that good against swordsmen. Who would have thought? So the merc swordsmen were able to take so Atlantis took 2 territories thanks to mercs. It seems like that's what we're seeing here, as more merc forces taking territories for Atlantis than actual Atlantean forces. I think that's because a lot of the Atlantean forces are just dying in these large engagements against the Mind Flayers. They're losing like entire armies worth, because retreating against the Mind Flayer is a terrible thing to try, because every turn you're going to lose an additional set of units depending on how many Mind Flayers are fielded, because they're paralyzed. They won't be able to run. And since it's got 100% accuracy, 100 range, you can't really escape it. So that was a good assault by Relay. This is a counter assault by Atlantis against the vastness and a bunch of Mind Flayers and some other like mind blasting enemies. I don't really value Shark Knights a whole lot, but when you are basically causing half the forces, maybe even more at this point, to not even do anything, and then just mop up these incredibly expensive war lobsters. That's like, how many turns have they lost of production trying to get those war lobsters? They lost like 90% of their war lobsters in that fight. I really actually want to see. How many did they field? I'm blind, I can't find them. They fielded 8 and they lost 7. That is so bad for them. They fielded 61 troops and lost 54. That is the power of Mind Flayers. They beat you out on attrition, more so than anything else in this game. You can't run from them. Like in most encounters from any other nation, sure, you'll lose. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like their Void Summoner indeed has gone insane. So they have no longer control over the ability to summon things from the void with this guy. He was going to do whatever the hell he wants. So it looks like they have to recruit another summoning unit if they have any hopes of summoning units. Which they definitely need to be doing. Insane is a terrible, terrible thing to have on your guys, but it comes with the territory of Relay. Proclamation of Atlantis, so it looks like they probably had to get another prophet. They did, so they lost their prophet in the last engagement. Relay going for a territory. Using their own mercs. I think that they have to take this. There's no way they don't. The amount of attrition damage being done by the longbowmen, yeah, it was just too much for that small of a force. All right. Though, you know, there might be some silver lining here. Atlantis probably is going to take these 2 neutral territories, especially if one of the assaulting forces is the Necromancer unit. This I'm a little bit worried about, because the high ground is being given to the neutrals, and they do have the Horse Archers. So if this front line holds long enough, the enemy commander can just straight up die to the Horse Archers, even if they're not targeting him. And it looks like they're going to just be routed just by unit loss. You gotta respect neutral knights. A lot of neutral units in this game are really not that great. Obviously, they have to be balanced that way. Some are better than others, but neutral knights you have to respect. They're really, really strong. I can't tell you how many times I tried to make assaults when I first started playing this game. Be like, oh, there's only like 5 knights in this territory. I should be able to take it. And then just get completely trounced because the knights are really, really strong. Oh, look at this. It's the beautiful sound. Ugh. This sound is like completely burned into my brain, because not only is it the Mind Blast sound, it's also the like Airmore like priest chant sound. So it's like when you have the armies of the dead of Airmore, and Airmore, Asphodel, Relay, and then some later nations from later ages and earlier ages as well that don't really matter in this tournament. Were like the races that I played when I first started playing, and I basically stuck with them just because I liked their aesthetic and liked how broken they were, I guess. I mean, like Relay is not as broken, I don't think, as Airmore, but they are pretty broken. Mind Flayers are a broken unit, but I won't have it changed any other way. It's like it's their style, their ability to completely annihilate an assaulting force or a defending force, and making it so like they have like no one who makes it out, so that they can't make a counterattack because they lose all their units. I just love that. But Necromancer Merc wiping up some neutrals. Oh, the commanders got away. One of the commanders died, however. I gotta love those neutral commanders. They cause so much grief for Atlantis this game. Like, no joke. Longbowmen squad. If they kill the knight, they're good. If they don't, I don't know. The swordsmen are gonna cause some havoc here. Oh, surprisingly not. I would have thought they would have done more damage. They only are wearing leather, and they only are using a longsword for their skirmishing ability. I'm honestly surprised, but Relay takes it. What are they attacking this province with? Okay, so this is the province they're attacking with. This should be a one-turn maybe kill. No, okay, so no, most of the Mind Flayers attacked one single unit. It's like half of them attacked one dude. Oh, man. It's a lot of sacred units being fielded by Atlantis. They should definitely be able to take this, barring some crazy luck of the commanding Mind Flayer. But it seems like the commanding Mind Flayer is more concerned with casting Smite, which obviously does a little more, probably more damage, but I just feel like Mind Flayer should just be casting Mind Blast. Though, unfortunately, you have independent attack, and it's one of the worst ones to get. It's the entire contingency of horsemen here. And is this, like, how many is this? Is it like 20? 25 horsemen? Though, you know, luckily Atlantis has decent defensive forces in this province, allowing them to definitely hold this. I don't see why they wouldn't. They have Rust Mist, which I haven't ever seen in my life. I'm assuming it lowers the defensive value. Or damage weapon, yeah, rusty equipment. So, okay. I've never seen that in my life, so I mean that's a kind of a counter to the ability to do damage from knights. But that being said, there's just too many knights here. They were going against maybe like 25 knights. So that territory has been taken out. Worldwide event, 1+ misfortune. That doesn't affect. I mean, I guess it does affect both nations, but it doesn't really. I mean, both nations are still at positive, so it doesn't really come into play here. Unless it's next turn that it counts. I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe it comes into the next turn. No other battles being taken by Relay here. And despite being mad, they're still putting the same summoner into the portal. So hopefully he gets something good. Right, and then looking at the map now, Relay is the one getting the surround on Bandar. And as I was saying, they could probably take Bandar with Chunun here and his force of Mind Flayers. And I'm actually, before I click this, I'm actually thinking that this game might be ending sooner rather than later. It seems like Relay's Dominion spread is definitely higher than that of Atlantis, so they might actually, Relay might be killing me off right here through Dominion. Not this turn, but since they're pushing up, it's definitely on my mind. Though, all these assaults, I think, by Atlantis are going to be basically territory swaps. Not this one, I don't think. They're going to lose a whole lot of units here. But the other territory assaults by Atlantis, I think, are going to be against, like, ill-defended territories. It's just really unfortunate that Relay has such bad slave infantry. I know I keep talking about it, and I understand that it's there to balance. But like even when like the entire enemy front line is paralyzed and only like a little bit of like normal militia or slightly armored militia are able to kill your like faction specific units, it's kind of just like, I don't know, it kind of hurts to see when your units are like more fragile than like war dogs of Loam. That kind of sucks. But Atlantis took a major blow to their forces, losing a lot of them in that assault. I don't know why they thought they could take that. Dagon is pretty much by himself at this point, though he does the two otherness things, the slime boys. There's no way those are dying. They have so much HP, and they keep bullying this guy around with a trample. that was adorable. Little slime people just going around pushing this commanding unit around. I think Atlantis is getting desperate here. We're seeing smaller and smaller forces of mainline Atlantean units. A lot of the Atlantean assaults that we've been seeing these past few turns that have been successful have been from mercs. That's the attrition power of mind flayers. Though they might be able to take this because they have a lot of Mother Guard here. Mother Guard doing a lot of attrition damage themselves with their poison barbing. However, there's some magic casters of Relay. So if Relay, I don't think they're gonna win this. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna cause some attrition damage to this assaulting force. I don't think it's possible for them to win. There's just too many Mother Guards here. Though I say that now, okay. I saw the additional merman, and I was like, maybe they could do it, but unfortunately they cannot hold. They killed a few Mother Guards, so. Though this assault is not gonna work out very well if you lose one of your knights immediately to the Mind Flay. Or Mind Blast, rather. Oh, but it's also, I guess it goes both ways, getting hit by Smite and then losing one of your knights immediately. Oh, I guess he gave up on casting Mind Blast, and then that might be his death. It's gonna. Oh, whoa! He did it! He did it! What a legend! Holding up against two enemy knights, the commanding officer, and also he's getting has smite being cast on him every turn. What a legend! What a legend! And I don't know who to value here. The infantry is definitely better on the side of Atlantis. This is their highest tier, like normal infantry for these Atlanteans. But being hit with Mind Blast every turn, I think they're almost at the point of breaking. I think if they lose like 2 more dudes, though they're gonna get the surround. So they're gonna lose that fight. Take a look at the map. So Atlantis has taken this territory and what other territory? Wait, no, I guess they only took one? I thought they took more than one. Might be just blind. I don't see any like crossing swords here. So they cut off. Okay, no. So they took this one as well. They lost the assault here. Though this territory is not a very good territory for them to be in, seeing as how it's right next to Relay itself. It's that force is gonna die almost immediately. And just looking at the board, I couldn't tell who I was looking at because the very few forces being fielded by Atlantis. You would think that with the amount of extra resources they're getting per turn, 50% across the board, they would be fielding more units, but they only have a treasure of 935. They had a point where they had way more provinces than this, but I think it's at the point that they can't come back at this point. We've seen all of these, and a sneaking enemy we don't need to see, because the sneaking enemy was caught, basically. Have we gotten any more units? Oh, we've gotten these guys. I don't like these guys too much. I mean, they got the Mind Blast and Life Drain and Paralyze, but they're really slow, but they're at least able to move. Any of these summons that can't move, cough, cough, this dude, don't really like seeing in battle. Other than that, I think that turn is done. Let's go to the Bandar log to see how my Dominion's doing. It actually hasn't gone down, surprisingly. Maybe one of the Relayan forces will build a church on the front lines, and then that will start Dom killing me rather quickly. This could be an even turn, both factions attacking twice. Though we already know if Relay is attacking with their Mind Flayer force, that entire force they're fighting is gonna die. This is guaranteed a victory pretty much by the forces of Atlantis. They couldn't even see their commanding unit. He was hiding behind this little coral reef. Okay, so it looks like Atlantis is obviously taking this one. This is their mother guard force. So it's good to see that they're still having some energy left. They've been beaten down by the mind rays of Dagon's forces here. It's so crazy to see Dagon being fielded with only like 2 otherness things. That's what they're called, right? Yeah, fielding 2 otherness basically, and those doing all the work because of the regeneration. Their max HP, like they have crazy HP values, and their trample. Like they win. Like there's no reason Dagon should be able to be fielding these guys. He lost one of the othernesses, so that's unfortunate. But Dagon somehow, being completely undefended, is still taking territories. We have the Mind Flayer contingency force. That's turn 1 done, and they're not broken. This is turn 2. Took 3 turns, the entire enemy force is to be completely annihilated by the mind psychic damage of my boys, my underdark mind flayers. I mean, I gotta respect the priests of Atlantis. And whenever I see relay and infantry, I start to get a little worried. The enemy force has 2 knights, but the knights are being paralyzed. So I think Atlantis is gonna fail here. But as I said, look, the relay infantry is already breaking. It's just ridiculous. I think relay might lose this. Yeah. This is how bad relay is. Like, basically the enemy force consists of a pretty good priest, some militia, and then 2 knights. And they were able to take out a force maybe like 5 times the size. It's just how bad is their infantry. Also, since those are the like normal infantry, reinforcing provinces with gold is kind of bad. Most of the time you get neutrals, and you pretty much want more neutrals than relay units, because relay units that you're gonna get there are pretty bad until you get enough money into those provinces where you can start getting mind flayers, but that doesn't really happen too often. Oh my gosh, we have a special event. We're gonna watch that because we've already seen these events. It looks like this territory, I think, is gonna be taken away from relay by the independents. For sure it's being taken away. It's the vampire assault, these elder vampires. Oh no, they're just normal vampires. This province is going to be taken back, I don't think, anytime soon, unless hit by the Mind Flayer force. So we have a special event. Special monsters are attacking relay. Are they going to win is the question. You're getting a lot of luck being cast on, like pretty much every spell in the book is being cast. These guys have like, what, like 50 HP max? Oh, 30 HP. So yeah, he was able to do it. So good thing those guys are incredibly slow, and they were going for the paralysis rather than mind blast. So luckily, Cthulhu the Stargazer was able to hold out there. That's one of the things that you have to kind of deal with relay. You get assaults like that from time to time from the Void Gate. But you don't really get them a lot if you max out luck, so despite there being like 1 misfortune in the world, they still have 2 luck, so they don't have to deal with that stuff too often here. Relay actually cut off one of the provinces, or 2 of the provinces, from mainline Atlantis with one of their last assaults. Pontos is calling Krakens. Krakens aren't really that good, so I mean that's not too big of a deal. I think they're only water as well, so moving on to land with the octopus dudes is not really gonna come into play here. And as long as this otherness doesn't get surrounded, I'm pretty sure there's a guaranteed victory by Dagon here. It's taking a lot of damage, yes, but it's also pushing the knight. I think the knight's fleeing at this point. This is not a good position for Dagon to be in. This otherness is actually probably gonna heal up close to max. Oh, never mind. He turned around to attack instead of continuing on. I think Dagon's in trouble here. Dagon is indeed in trouble. He's got 170 HP. He's got Lucky, not Twist of Fate on. So, unfortunately, he might die right here. No, he was able to hold out. Got to worry about that poison damage. So Dagon is completely alone at this point. But I think he's done his work. He's taken province after province after province with a attrition force that keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. He still keeps winning. Why can't, they gotta field Pontos, man. I want to see Pontos on the field at some point, but unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. He's got too much magic power for the opponent to want to field him. He's too valuable for magic research, and then when he's not researching, he's gonna be casting spells. Atlantis is going after some independence again. With my boy Giuseppe! They should be able to take this. I mean, there's knights, but I don't see why he wouldn't be able to take this. The Pikeneers are pretty strong. I don't think they lost a single Pikeneer in that engagement of knights. Fire Elemental is a little overkill, kind of waste. Seeing as how it's not even gonna get there in time. Atlantis going in for the Typhoon Sea once again. This force is pathetic. They're gonna be able to take it because Relay has no defending forces in any other provinces. But this force is like, I would say like probably one of the larger Atlantean forces that they have been fielded that are not like mercs. A counterattack on this would be dreadful for them, and we've seen that happen already, where if they've moved in close to Relay, and then the next turn, they've been completely wiped out by Relay's like defensive forces in the home capital. But that was a good assault. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be able to hold that. Let's see what Relay is doing. I think this is the Mind Flayer force. It is indeed the Mind Flayer force. I hope that Relay has been building Mind Flayers non-stop, because this force has been non-reinforced the entire time. It's been like on the field for probably like a game year at this point. An entire, complete, total victory, once again, causing massive damages to anything that's not a defensive bot militia unit. It's still got the cross, they're going for the longbows. Relay seems to value the longbows. Though I don't think they can hold this against the wet ones, or the old ones. I mean, they can kill them probably in like one hit, but I don't know, we'll see. Surprising amount of damage they're doing when they skirmish with a short sword. It's 21 damage. Maybe it's because it's got the attack values of piercing and slashing, so they can hit potential weak spots. They were able to hold, but they've lost maybe like 8 longbowmen. That doesn't seem to really matter too much. Independents having another uprising against the forces of Atlantis because of their turmoil. Seems to just be like causing them some problems. Despite, you know, Relay having more turmoil, they have the lucky event chance because of how much luck they have. So they don't necessarily get these events all the time. These Sea Dogs, I don't know if they're going to take this, because Sea Dogs themselves are relatively weak. But the front line now is completely gone. And all that's left is a Knight Commander, a Mother Guard Commander, and some Horse Archers. I guess a Priest as well. He got camouflage, man. I couldn't see him back there. But it looks like the neutrals are going to take this. If they lose like 2 more guys, they will break. Unfortunately, yeah, they broke, unfortunately. They were really close to winning. Let's check the health values on these commanders. 12 HP, 5 HP. They were so close to causing the forces of Atlantis to rout. But good thing if you're an Atlantis fan, they were able to hold. It was very close for them. It could have gone either way at any of those points. Alright, let's take a look at the map. It's such a mess. Like, there's territories like going into each territories. There's territories cut off from both factions. It's just like everything's just a mess. Let's go to see what Relay's doing. There's another special event. Another special monster event. In the Void here. It's another one of the cool things that you can get when you're trying to call things. I love the Void. The Void looks really freaking cool. Where basically, oh, I didn't actually watch what happened. I'm pretty sure Relay loses this. Because most of these you indeed do lose. Because it's only the power of your priest. Yeah, it died almost instantaneously. But let's check the recruit units. So they're still getting some Mind Flayers a turn. The AI really always does this. They try to buy more than they can afford. Some decent Mind Flayers. Mind Flayer count. They have 20 of them. I feel like they should definitely have more, but I think they just stopped buying units at some point. I don't know why. Dagon just chilling. He's in a very dangerous spot. He needs to get some units with him as soon as possible. I just noticed neither faction have taken these territories on land, which is kind of strange, just a little bit strange. No more neutrals, but like pretty much only assaults by factions against factions here. Rarely see these pikemen. Soldiers of the Deep. I don't know what soldiers are. They just like a different like merman folk, or they summon? They might be a summon. As I said, I don't play Atlantis, so. It was a good assault by Atlantis, though. We're gonna see now probably a successful. No, I'm like not doing this. Those log movement. This is a very bad assault by Relay. I don't know what they're thinking here. This is like the last turn they have this mercenary group, so that's why they're a little bit more aggressive than they probably should be. But going against like not only Giuseppe's forces, but a force that's like fielded with knights and stuff, that was very strange. But they thought they could take that. Oh, they're fielding the Visitor Commander with the Great Otherness. The Lobo, the small Shambler Thralls, not really that good. Man, getting 9 health per turn. So I guess they round up. I guess it's not like a normal integer because he doesn't have 90 HP, he's got 89. 10% of that would be 8.9. So I guess they just, there's a round up function from to float to int. So like that's why he gets 9 per turn. So I guess that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. I would have assumed he would have only gotten 8 HP per turn. So it looks like some of the Kraken are being fielded. I mean, they're no slouch. They have 4 attacks. They do 11 damage each. They got some nice stats to them. They got blunt resistance. Didn't know they were stealthy, but I guess they are stealthy, and they got recuperation. But they're only aquatic, so spending magic gems on only aquatic units, I mean, even against a nation that's aquatic as well, so there's more water territories, even then I don't think they're that good, because look, they lost 1, and they caused a lot of those forces to just rout. I guess Atlantis still won in the end, but that's because of the Mother Guards here. The Mother Guards are what's winning these fights for Atlantis. If Relay doesn't have Mind Flayers and a decent number or decent count, it's pretty much a guaranteed victory if any Mother Guards are in the Atlantean forces rather. While the main Mind Flayer force seems to just be picking on like the weakest provinces possible instead of going after more juicy targets, I guess. So let's take a look at some statistics, 'cause it's been a while. Not these statistics, actual score graphs. Well, let's look at provinces here. Atlantis actually has more provinces than Relay. That's what I was kind of thinking. Relay was making a very strong push, but then they kept losing territories, and they don't have as many assaulting forces now that Dagon now is not taking provinces. Income has gone straight down for Relay, unfortunately. And unsurprisingly, since Plantos has been doing nothing but research, obviously he's got more research on Atlantis than Relay. Relay still having more units fielded. I mean, Atlantis is in a good position. The reason I didn't look at the Dominion score, because I don't want to see who's winning on that. I have a feeling, though, the Dweller in the Deeps was signed, but I have a feeling that our boy of Relay might be winning this. So I mean, if they field their Mind Flayers, their Illithids, they could take the territories around their home base back. And it looks like they're on the offensive now. Atlantis is only attempting to take one territory here. This is not a very good assassination attempt at all. But they were able to... Wow, wait, what? Armies of Relay were routed, but... Okay, I'm very confused about that outcome. They killed the Knight Commander of Atlantis, but they were routed. What? I don't understand. Sometimes this game is a little weird. So hopefully that Knight Commander is actually still dead, so the assassination attempt still went through. And they finally are fielding their other Mind Flayer contingency force. This should definitely do some serious damage to the Atlantean defending force, and I would be surprised if Atlantis doesn't straight up die here. There's just so many Mind Flayers that the enemy force is not going to be able to make any inroads. These like paralysis dudes are slowly making their way up. Oh, though I guess some of the Mind Blasts were cut off, and now they're not going to be casting Mind Blasts. Is that this might be the end? They got into Atlantis was routed. So that is the main issue with Illithid AI here. You want to have the Illithids with the pikes in front of the ones that without pikes, because if a ranged unit is engaged in melee, doesn't matter if they have ammo left on their ranged weapon, they will still try to go and do melee attacks. So you want the ones that have actual melee attacks to be up front, whereas the ones that don't really have too many melee attacks, they have the like life drain, brain suck tentacles. You want them in the back so they continuously be casting the Mind Blasts. But even with that like snafu, they're still way too strong for Atlantis to deal with. Though Atlantis should be able to take this no problem. I don't think we didn't even need to really watch this. This is pretty much going to be a massacre on the part of Atlantis. I mean, on the part of Relay. Atlantis is just going to like, steamroll through this. Unsurprisingly. But they lost so many mother cards in that assault, and I told you it was going to happen. They attacked the province right by the sleeping city, the sleeping giant of Relay. And this is like the largest forest Atlantis has as well. Sure, they have Giuseppe again. But Giuseppe is probably going to take this territory next turn. Anything else going on here? Nothing really happening in the world, other than the events that we already have seen. Let's check Bandar log. I still have 2 candles. I'm still holding out. It's going to be a while before I get Dom killed, because neither of these factions have any desire, I guess, to build churches. I have 20,000 gold in my treasury. I'm Switzerland. I've just been like making money, hand over fist. Assassination attempt again by Relay. Will this one also be successful in killing the enemy commander? It's priest against priest, and it goes to the Starchild priest. So that's like half of the force, if not the entirety of the force, without an enemy commander. That will instantly break at the start of the round. This force is completely wiped out. No surprises here. This match has been going on a little bit long. Thought it was going to end a little bit quicker, simply because how much Dominion strength that Relay was pumping out early game. Giuseppe's force is unsurprisingly attacking the province that I thought, though Giuseppe himself got hit with the Mind Blast. The chances of that happening are incredibly low due to how many guys are here. If he gets hit one more time, it's game over. Game over for Giuseppe's force here. That'd be incredibly lucky for this Mind Flayer to cast either that or Smite on Giuseppe himself. Mainly because the main force is now assaulting here, and that's going to be the target probably. But unfortunately, they're routed. But he got hit by 1 Mind Blast, bringing him down to 8 HP left. That could have ended gruesomely for Atlantis, and that goes to show the power of the Mind Blast. Even though it didn't happen, it almost happened. And the fact that it could happen with 1 Mind Flayer fielded just shows the upset potential that you can have a lesser value army just have a couple mind flayers and just hope for the best, and you can like destroy an enemy assaulting force. But that's a lot of. I don't think this defending force is gonna be able to hold against the militia. So looks like this is gonna be an independent army routed for sure. Atlantis has taken that province. Relay is also attacking Kestvita. Kestvita? I don't really know how to pronounce this province name. It's a pretty weak force, to be honest. I don't think Relay can take this. They have too many of their weak slave units. They have a couple wolf tribe or deer tribe archers. Deer tribe archers. And they do have Starspawn that has a bunch of magic, and he's a level 2 priest spells, so he should be able to cast some decent things here. Yeah, so someone's got animate. He's got animate dead, but it's only animating one skeleton per turn, unfortunately. I don't think they're gonna hold. I'm pretty sure Relay is not gonna be able to assault this province. So that's a good defense by Atlantis. I don't know why Relay thought they could take that. And it looks like Atlantis is finally pushing up here into these territories, which I'm honestly surprised it took so long for them to make that decision. Oh, successful summoning. What did he get? One Elder Thing. Alright, so we got an additional Elder Thing into the army. The Mind Flayer force with the vastness is now being fielded again against some neutrals. I'm pretty sure they take this. And we've already been spoiled on the map. So loud with this stupid fucking Mind Blast. But yeah, the economy of the Illithid nation here has definitely been starting to stagger a little bit too much. And as you look, Atlantis is starting to catch on and be like, you know what? I need to build churches. Churches are the key to victory in this Dominion mode. And I don't see any churches in any of these Relayan provinces. So the fact there's 2 churches in Atlantis provinces is not a good sign for Relay here. As I said, the longer this match goes on, the advantage of Dagon fielding himself starts to diminish a little bit when factions start to build their own churches. And it looks like Relay's is not at that point yet where they can build churches. Oh, that's a lot of Mother Guard killed. Oh, that's a very bad economic turn for Atlantis to lose out on those sacred units, especially when both of these factions are starting to kind of like falter on the gold front. Giuseppe should be able to take this. And if he's, how much HP does he still have? Okay, so he's got 9 HP. So I think that Mind Blast hit him for 1. That or he's injured because of it. But I don't think that's gonna be an upset. And it wasn't. Giuseppe's too good. I love myself some Giuseppe mercenaries. Dagon fielded himself after buying a couple. I think these are the Wolf Tribe ones, right? No, they're still Deer Tribe. Okay. So after he bought some Deer Tribe and some militia and 1 slave dude and then like 1 like madman, he's making an assault that's gonna have himself killed, unfortunately. No way Dagon comes out of this. Dagon's gonna die here. 2 damage plus 3, 16 damage plus 5. Oh, yeah, 22 damage. He's retreating. Don't die, Dagon! I don't actually know. Did Dagon die? Yep. Unfortunately, Dagon was killed. This is a very bad turn of events. I think they may have just thrown. I think they just... Relay's chances of winning have just possibly gone down the drain because of that event. Losing out on Dagon here was the worst thing to happen to them. If I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think Dagon's going to be coming out anytime soon, unfortunately. And they're continually building these really crap. Are Meteorite Guard even worth it? I mean, a little bit. They're the better of the units, but they're still slaves, and that's an issue. Let's go to Army and see if there's anything good here. These guys can't move. Not a whole lot of good void summoning going on here. Relay's losing steam, and I mean, to some extent, Atlantis is too, but Relay's losing more steam than Atlantis, and that's the main issue here. That is the issue. Another assassination attempt, hopefully. Okay, so they didn't kill him, unfortunately. If only he was fielded just a little bit longer, he would have killed Arslan? Speaking is hard. Something was successful. 2 othernesses. At this point in the game, the power of the otherness, I mean, they're still strong, don't get me wrong, but when you're only getting 2 of them per turn, it's not really that impactful. The swing that they get early a game is definitely the better option to get those early. Same thing with any of the good summons, but at this point in the game, only getting a couple of them per turn is not really going to come into play. It looks like Giuseppe has been now bought by Relay. That's good for them. They should be able to take some of these Atlantean territories. But losing Dagon was very bad for them. Very bad. 2 assaults by Atlantis this turn, which is surprisingly that Giuseppe is not assaulting a province. Does he die at some point? Okay, so he was defending this province. So I guess that was a smart move. It's unfortunate we can't see all the units on the board, or at least boarding in a faction that we are currently on. So we can't see border province troops when we're looking at a computer's turn, even though we can like make choices for the computer. Is Giuseppe gonna fail this? There's war shamblers by Atlantis here. Okay, so Giuseppe was able to hold. Giuseppe is just too good. Giuseppe is just too good, fam. Alright, so that was a successful defense. Honestly, completely thanks to Giuseppe. If Relay didn't buy Giuseppe into that territory, that wouldn't have gone the same way. This, we don't need to watch. We can easily tell that Atlantis is going to take that, and indeed they do. Looking at the world map, hopefully Giuseppe makes an assault onto these land territories. Judging by Atlantis' forces, there's not a whole lot here. So Giuseppe probably could just push by himself and take these territories. They need to take this territory because it indeed has a church by Atlantis. And I don't know why Relay's not building churches. They built a church, I think, in the early game, and it was immediately taken down by Atlantis. And then ever since then, they've refused to do that. And nothing really going on in Relay. They keep buying like nothing a turn or really bad choices. They can afford a church. Okay, so they built a church in this water territory. It's one of their more well-defended ones, so that's good for them. Let's see. Atlantis is definitely being the aggressor here. I don't know if Relay's going to be able to defend any of this, especially since Relay's attacks are consisting of buying Star Childs to do assassination attempts. Sure, there's a metagame where you can kill off the enemy commanders and then push in with the force that would have normally lost because the units attached to that commander are going to flee. But we see the AI make these assassination attempts but have 0 follow-through. So that's not really good for them, because next turn, the AI can just put those troops on some other commanding unit. But this assaulting force by Atlantis should be able to take this. Enough Krakens definitely to take this. Though the Meteorite Guard, you know, they're the better of the slave units. So they're holding out pretty well. They definitely have they have better armor than the infantry, the final tier infantry by Atlantis. But even then, they're slaves, so they got the morale penalty, and they're not going to do anything against water elementals. So, unsurprisingly, they are not able to hold. So Relay making an actual assault. This should be Giuseppe's force, and it indeed is Giuseppe. This should be called the Dominions 4A battles starring Giuseppe, because we see him every single, and I mean like almost every single match. Giuseppe gets fielded. Like their AI loves themselves some Giuseppe. There's definitely mercenaries that pop up. Like I know the elephant mercenary has popped up a few times. The fishman mercenaries pop up. a lot, the Shamblers as well, but we don't see them a whole lot. The AI doesn't like to buy those ones. They like to buy Giuseppe though. You know, Relay definitely needs to work on his defensive forces. I mean, the AI in general needs to work on their defense. They typically don't put a whole lot into defense. Sometimes they field units there into provinces, but they never actually spend their gold on defense. I don't think if they put maybe 30 units in there by spending gold, they would have held. I don't think they would have because of the amount of Coral Guard and Mother Guard that were fielded by Atlantis, but still, it would have caused some damage. You would have taken more economic damage by fielding all those units, but it's only straight gold loss for you, whereas it would have been limited unit spawn because the Mother Guard are sacred. So that's holy points lost, and then it would have been also production loss because when you field units through the conscription, it doesn't cost you anything other than gold. So it would have been, I mean, I think Relay has the gold they could spend. They have 1,000 this turn, or at least they did like 2 turns ago. Sure, that gold might better be used on building castles, and for this game mode in particular, it definitely really works with churches for spreading domain, or dominion rather, not domain. But you know, if there's a province that keeps getting us like taken back and forth, baby, you want to build a castle there. But before you can get that castle down, maybe you just want a couple more neutrals, not neutrals, but like a couple more defensive units in there than normal. I think Atlantis has this simply because they're only going against militiamen again. There's an actual like magician fielded by Relay, but he didn't have the space that he needed in order to. Okay, so we got the my favorite mercs being fielded, but for some reason when I saw Frodo, for some reason I thought it was saying that our fort is under a siege. I don't know, my dyslexia kicked in. I got really excited. I was like, whoa, hold up. How is this happening? Are neutrals doing something here? I'm assuming Giuseppe is gonna move down to this territory next. Sure, this is the more juicy territory with the Necromancer, but this is the larger force. This is the larger concern, I think, for them at this point. Oh, they actually lost Giuseppe's force? Wait, is Giuseppe God's Justice? Yeah, he is. Okay. So they have to hope to get him back. Wait, I'm very confused. Okay, so the prophet that was once killed, okay, they can get another prophet now. That message I very rarely see because I rarely lose my prophets. That was very strange to me to see that. But this is a very Atlantis heavy assault turn. They're doing a lot this turn. But you gotta ask yourself, is it enough? Is it enough? They're not spreading their dominion as much as one would hope, despite having more provinces than Relay. Are they gonna be successful here? I immediately gave them this. No, they're breaking. Surprised. I thought they were gonna like really steamroll this with the amount of war shamblers that they fielded. But those neutral knights were doing a lot of work. Oh, they took the. I think this is gonna be another really long match because both these nations are, I think, relatively evenly matched on the power scale. I mean, that makes it a good match in the sense that it's a close one, you know. Like the factions keep going one between the other. You know, one's dominating, the other one's struggling, then the other one starts to dominate, then the other one obviously starts to struggle. That was an instant victory by Atlantis. But when we get these long matches, then like it's very hard for me to get motivated to do another match because I never know how long it's gonna be. This is the Mind Flare force that we haven't seen in a long time with the vastness attached to it. This is the economic damage that I like to see by Relay, killing out all of those Mother Guards, doing massive damage to the army economy. And that was an assault. That was an assault made by Atlantis there, not an assault made by Relay. So that was very bad for them. The Necromancer make an assault against neutrals. You know, gotta worry about these commanded units. You know, they can do some crazy shit. All right. But yeah, like I don't know. If I start streaming the next match, am I gonna get another 2-hour match? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stream another match. Though there will be a slight break if anyone is indeed watching, because I don't have my live viewer count there. If I do another match, I know I'm already saying stuff as if this match is over, but it's not. It could go on for another hour. Who knows? But if I'm gonna do another one, but there will be a slight break. It might maybe 30 minutes or so. I need to get some more water. Talking so much in an already hot as fuck room really dries out your mouth. You'd be surprised, you know? When you're in like 90, 98 degree room, you're talking for like maybe, I'm gonna assume I've been streaming for like an hour and a half. Your mouth gets pretty dry. Sneaking enemy found. We don't need to see that Relay assault there. But if we look at the map, this was once really incredibly dominated by Relay, but once Dagon went down, the secondary assault force of Relay went down, the Atlantis started dominating on the provinces. And I think they might, honestly, I think they're gonna win. But like, let's look at their dominion here. They have no dominion here. This is enemy dominion, enemy dominion, enemy dominion. They have dominion here because of the church, enemy dominion, enemy dominion, enemy dominion. Some here, some here, some here. A lot here, actually. Some here, none here. I honestly think Relay is definitely on top of the dominion game here. It's... Actually, I don't know. The water territories are bigger, so it's like less before the wrap. So actually, honestly, I think Atlantis might win this. And that scares me. That scares me, fam. Every time I see one of these question marks, I get scared that my faction has died. Some shambles. These attrition forces aren't super cool to watch, though. I say this is like a relatively close battle. The war shamblers are strong, but there's a lot of the shit militia here. But the combination of like tier 1.5 militia and mind flayers was enough to take that away from the war shamblers. That's good for them. It's a good defense by Relay. So far this is a good Relay turn. If they could take any territories on top of that, this would be a very good Relay turn. Not only holding back an assault, assault by Atlantis. They were able to potentially take additional territories. Very good for them. They seem to be liking the Atlantean slaves. So I mean, I guess it's kind of canon. Though they were routed because, you know, slaves are crap in this game. But they keep fielding Atlantean slaves and like meteorite guard slaves, which are Atlanteans. it's blowing my mind. It's like they're enslaving the enemy. We have a Shambler force. I don't know who to value here. I'm pretty sure these are a mercenary Shambler force. Because it's just way too many just to be like bot ones. So they're slightly better than normal Shamblers. And yep, I think they have... Nope, they're being routed. Oh, that poison damage is too good. Those poison barbs, man. Just like attacking a unit, getting that additional poison every single turn. It's just too strong. Relay can't really like counter that with their melee units. Like we see like any of these assaults being made by Relay, and they don't have mind flayers or using otherworldly beings from beyond the realms of dreams, then they're pretty much guaranteed to lose. Like Relay is so weak with their infantry. But this great otherness should make short work against these Krakens. Sure, the Krakens are able to kill multiple Lobo Guards a turn, but did you see how much damage just like the group of Lobo Guards did against Krakens because they're relatively weak on the defense scale? So still a good turn by Relay. Yeah, they lost some units, but they caused actually quite a bit of damage to defending Atlantean forces. They defended properly or efficiently in one of their territories that was assaulted by Atlantis, and they took a territory as well. So it's a good turn by Atlantis, or by Relay here, but they really needs to start kicking it into like 5th gear or something crazy, because right now definitely the land game is going the way of Atlantis. Check Bandar log and some fire gems. I think we're still in like relatively the same situation that we were in a couple turns ago. The one Dominion here, I think that used to be a 2, but we still got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 1 here, and then 1 here. I think we've been in this situation for quite a number of turns. It looks like it's because the factions refuse to build churches, and that's what's like making this game mode go longer than it should. Though we're starting to see Atlantis build churches, and that once we see that, it's typically the sign that the match is going to end relatively soon. Are they going to be able to defend this? Okay, they are indeed able to defend it and get some extra kills because of the mind play. So that's good for them. So far, it's +1 for our boys of Relay. And it looks like Relay got Giuseppe. So Giuseppe will make short work of this tiny force of Atlantis, though it still concerns me whenever I see anything with poison barbs, so these two commanders back here can still do a whole lot of damage. And Giuseppe causing some fire damage to your own troops. It's not really good to see, Giuseppe. You need to watch out with those fireflies. I would like to see them kill one of the commanding units to cause some real heavy economic damage to the opponent. However, it's unfortunate that they weren't able to do that, though. If they were, they would have most definitely taken poison damage. And maybe would have been wounded. But Atlantis is making a successful assault. So far, both factions take 1 territory, 1 faction defends properly, so that was a good turn for both, but a slightly better turn for Relay. Let's see what anything else going on here. Summoning Sea Dogs is a little weird. I don't know why they decided to go that route for summons. Like Sea Dogs aren't really that good. And you only get like 6 Sea Dogs. They're not worth the turn spent casting that when you could just be getting more research. Talking about research, the AI seems to be going relatively even on things, but they really like evocation. I mean, it makes sense because they could get Strands of Arcane Power. What else could they get? They get Wrath of God, I think, still be able to cast it because they have maybe enough gems of air to do that. They have Mind Hunt, which doesn't really mean too much for them. No, actually, they don't have any air magic sources, so they would have to spend. They don't even have enough air gems to reinforce air, so they would have to spend their pearls to go into that. So I doubt they would go into that magic field. For some reason, I thought they would have at least like a couple of air mages. So it looks like this turn is definitely favoring the assaults of Relay. Relay has 3 assaults to Atlantis' 2 from what I see. I might be thinking of one of the assaults being an assassination attempt. I just looked at the flags. So we'll see who comes out on top here. I don't think I've seen this Merc group before. Is it the Khan Merc group? Nah, I've seen the Khan Merc group. I just didn't realize the commander had barding on it. So we're gonna have Genghis Khan here. Genghis Khan doing some work with his horse archers, doing some real work. They definitely need to kill the commanding unit. If they do that, it's a complete and utter victory for Relay here. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're gonna be able to hit him. So good assault by Relay, good assault. Will this be another good assault? It looks like it's almost guaranteed they have some Mind Flayer, so like pretty much no matter what the enemy fielded at this point, I'm pretty sure Relay would have been successful. I mean, it's only a couple Mind Flayers, but when you have a force this size, you only need a couple Mind Flayers to really like turn the tide. And this is the weakness of slaves. The morale penalties because of slaves are just too much. Like you need like Taskmaster +3 or something to really benefit from that. So now, like, we have Atlantis doing the single line formation here. This is a guaranteed victory for them. Because there's just a bunch of mermen, like tier 1 merman slaves. They're not doing a whole lot of damage, though some sharks were summoned by Relay, so that might be able to cause some additional damage. And they actually are causing some damage, these sharks. They're breaking. Oh, no, never mind. These sharks are cast by Atlantis. No, they're by Relay. Maybe both sides cast sharks. Because, yeah, both... Oh, hold up. I'm very confused. I've never cast this spell before. Maybe the sharks do whatever the hell they want? I have no idea. I saw those sharks attacking both sides. So maybe when one person casts them, they go after whatever. I don't really know. Maybe both sides cast the shark swarm. Never seen that spell before. Giuseppe, and we got our Great Otherness fielded. It's a little overkill. And by a little overkill, I mean really, really overkill. And I just checked my OBS to see if I was any drop in frames. It seems to be dropping a little less frames now that the heat wave. I mean, we're still under a heat wave in Arizona, though it's a little less extreme. This is a very weird assault by Atlantis. Why are you doing this? Oh man, you're gonna lose your priest. Your prophet. He's your prophet too. It's gonna be like another year before you get to summon another prophet. Oh, that's unfortunate for Atlantis to lose such a powerful unit for no reason. They're in the position where they can indeed lose a couple of these engagements, but it's getting to the point where Relay's making their counterattack again. Once again, this match keeps going back and forth, which makes it interesting. You can never really be sure who's winning. Right now, Relay is pushing back, and if they take out this province, I think that's gonna be the end, maybe, of Atlantis. I know that's a little presumptuous. Oh, we have another special event in the Void. Or close to the Void. Oh no. This would have been a great summon for Relay if they were able to get it. But it looks like it's just gonna kill the summoner. The thing that cannot be named is not gonna be summoned, unfortunately. Yeah, look at these forces. I mean, it's a lot of just trash units being fielded by Relay. But with the Mongols and Giuseppe's forces, this is what I like to see. This is multiple armies worth. They've actually built a fort on this province. I'm a little surprised they decided to build a fort on this province instead of a church. They built a fort on this province to protect their church, which is good. It looks like Atlantis hasn't been building any more churches because they've kind of been on the back foot. I'm going to be honest. Another potential better turn for Relay if all goes well for Relay. Get some better infantry with those mermen down there, but they're not going to be able to go against the Coral Guard. It's just the poison damage on them is just so strong. Speed it up. I don't know. These mermen down here are doing work, but they're poisoned. Though the mermen themselves have poison, so everything on this map is being poisoned with the +1 damage a turn. But it looks like Atlantis made a failed assault, so this turn could really definitely be a huge boon to the growth of Relay. I gotta sneeze. I gotta mute my mic. Hold on. All right, I am back. Yeah, there's no way that these Khan horse archers don't take this. Yeah, they're gonna kill him. Are they gonna get him? Yeah, they got the commanding officer. That's a very good turn for Relay. I think they got one more turn with these guys before they go up to neutral. Let's see. It's the only other assaulting province that Atlantis is going for. That's a lot of Mother Guards. It's yeah, it's gonna take this, but still, you really can see the attrition really setting in for the forces of Atlantis here. When that's probably one of their better assaults they could take, it's very sad for them. I mean, Relay is being attrition too, but they haven't lost, I don't think, very many, if any, Mind Flayers. Look at all these great othernesses and then just general othernesses. These Sea Serpents are gonna, maybe they'll kill these Sea Dogs, but they'll die from a counterattack by the othernesses. Guaranteed. Completely surrounded. These Kraken stand 0 chance against the othernesses. Though they don't get the trample bonus on them, so that's unfortunate, but didn't lose a single one, and the regeneration is going to keep them nice and healthy. It's actually, you know, I was talking shit about this assaulting force of Relay because of the amount of just slave guardians, but you know, they also have some great otherness and shamblers in that force, so that's good for them. And let's see what they're doing here. This is Giuseppe's assaulting force. Giuseppe should take this. We don't need to watch it. We know how powerful Giuseppe is. This was very good. This was a very good turn. Holy crap! This was an amazing turn by Relay. And they didn't have any neutral events happening negative against them, so that's good for them. They're starving some of their units, unfortunately. Something was completed. Maybe it was this fort that was completed. I'm actually curious, what was completed? Oh, it was the castle, okay. Actually, it was this castle. Oh my god. Okay, so they have a castle right up against the main home base of Atlantis here. Are they thinking of making an assault on Atlantis? I mean, if they combined all their forces, they could do it. I don't doubt that they could do it. Next turn, I don't know if they're gonna still have the Mongols here. They don't. Maybe they will still have the Khan. If they do, they're gonna go for this territory and take out one of the churches of Atlantis. This could be a relatively neutral turn if both factions take one province. Would take 2 provinces each. But even if that happens, Relay has still been taking provinces back to back here. This is a guaranteed victory. We don't need to watch this slaughter of Relay forces. Oh, it looks like they're not going for the church. I mean, I guess this could work too. They're cutting off additional ways of counterattack. But I would have personally gone for the church province. Taking out the church province deletes the church, deletes the minion growth of that singular province. I think it's a little bit better than the cave province. But powerful horse archers, to say the least. Monster depths, I think there was only like 1 unit here by Atlantis. Oh, I guess they had a little bit more. I only saw this guy here when I was on the world map last turn. They have 1 sea serpent. Oh, this is actually a very close match. It all really comes down to if these Mind Flayers can hold out and kill enough forces before they get to melee. Sure, these are the ones with the spears. This is actually going to probably be a loss by Relay, yeah. They didn't have a strong enough front line, or they didn't have enough Mind Flayers to really counteract that. That's very unfortunate to them. For them, rather. Losing Mind Flayers at this point in the game is not what you want to see, especially since the AI seems to not have the desire to build them, like at all, and this is going to be a victory for Atlantis. So Atlantis comes on top there, but do they really? You could ask yourselves, do we really think they came out on top? 2 Dweller in the Deeps, they're alright. Because if we look at this map, though, even if Atlantis takes 1 additional territory and they're sieging this province, they're going to be able to siege that province for much longer, since Relay is just right here. And I think the answer is pretty apparent. I think the siege is going to fail. This Mind Flayer group, plus some others, is probably going to come here and break that. And then maybe a Shambler Thrall force might take this province. It looks like they do not have the Mongols anymore. Let's check out the Mercenaries tab here. They could get Giuseppe back, the Green Horde back. The Iron Wizard, maybe they don't want to go for that, but the treasury is starting to dwindle. As for Atlantis' treasury, it's about almost double Relay's, so they can afford the mercs. They're going for some neutrals. This is this potential really good Atlantis turn. Large, wide force. They're taking this. We don't need to watch that. That's a victory. for Relay. Let's see how Atlantis is doing in Tristria. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. I mean, this is pretty one-sided, but you never really know. I'm gonna watch it and see if any miracles happen. And since water elementals are being summoned, I think any chance of miracles are down the drain at that point. So Atlantis is taking that territory. Relay's doing the counterattack against the assaulting force. That got some reinforcement, so I don't know if Relay's gonna be able to take this. There's a lot of mind flayers, don't get me wrong, but they have nothing here to support them. They have some crab hybrids, which is nice to see. So that should hold the front line long enough, maybe for the mind flayers to do some damage. Though this flanking force, no, never mind, it is retreating. Relay might fail this. Never mind. Okay, they held long enough. The front line held long enough for the tide turn to occur, with the mind flayers being able to like basically kill everything in sight. So strong. That is a very, very bad place to be for Atlantis. They lost a lot of value there, just because like they should have won that fight because they had just the better value units. I guess the independents couldn't handle the hobbits. The hobbits of Atlantis immediately take a territory. I'm pretty sure that was one of the assassination provinces that Relay went in with their Star Childs. So Relay didn't capitalize on it, but Atlantis sure did. It seems like the A doesn't really know how to deal with that. That's a lot of sharks being summoned by Atlantis. Let's take a look at statistics here. And army size, definitely going the way of Relay. The way of Relay. And provinces, I think they're pretty much even at this point. I mean, maybe like one or two provinces either way. Pretty much even. I really want to see who's winning Dominion, but I can't. I can't do that. I can't break the surprise. Relay's actually going for a neutral territory here, so if they take this, I think it's a relatively... No, they're not going for a neutral territory. They're just killing off, maybe, potentially. No, they're not even assassinating. That's unfortunate for them. Now this is where Relay starts to stagnate or just defend for whatever reason and not make any good assaults. But I suppose if they just stagnate and build churches, I think they could still win. Didn't realize though. I mean, I've seen this force before, but I didn't realize they got another 2 great othernesses. I must have missed that event. I knew they had the 1. That wasn't a good assault by them at all. Look at this neutrals. They should be able to take it because I think it's the Burgmeister force, or no, it's the Swordsman force. Or no, never mind. What is this? So these are like wolf dudes. What? So they're goblins, okay. A little goblin tribe. Didn't know that those people existed. And they're gonna rout. Just too strong, you know, the Curse of Agony is just too strong for them. It's a very strong neutral province though, so it's nothing to be too like ashamed about. That was a very strong neutral province, and it's obvious that's why they didn't make an assault against it sooner. Though this assault is a little weird, to say the least. I'm pretty sure Atlantis holds this. Or no, what? Okay, I'm blown away. How the hell did they fail that? I mean, sure, the surround and extra damage and stuff, and there's a mutant right here. But I guess Atlantis somehow lost that battle against Relay. And it looks like they're summoning jellyfish now. So that was a very efficient assault by Relay, so that's good for them. Unfortunately... Whoa, they're going after Bandar Log! Holy shit! Okay, so if you guys are not familiar, there's effectively 3 win conditions. Either win by the Dominion of 450, either if I get taken out by Dom kill or neutrals, whoever has the higher Dominion wins, or whoever takes me out is the winner. So, it looks like there is an assault on Bandar Log. My spectator province, Switzerland, is being assaulted by an assassin or just an assault. Like, okay, so never. If this is like a legit assault and not a, what is it? What is this? Is this like a sneaking enemy? I only looked at the flag, so were they just spying on me? God, I got excited for no reason. No, is this a battle in Bandar Log? They decided to just field a single star spawn, but it's okay. It is okay, because since that there is an assault there, it's all right. Hold up. Oh, I know how this happened. Okay, so what's gonna happen is in this fight, this guy's gonna return. He returns into Bandar Log and then he attacks. So maybe if I just looked at events in order, but maybe this is what's gonna cause a war between me and Relay. Sure, like I'm not doing anything, but maybe Relay will think of that as a war status, and they might attack me. So maybe this will end super quick. Who knows? And by super quick, I mean this match keeps going on and on and on. This lower bracket has been nothing but really close matches. So that was a very bad assault by Atlantis. Bergmeister's going in. Bergmeister should be able to take this. And never underestimate the power of the hobbits. Hobbits are really good. Look at them. Little, tiny little daggers. Super high evasion. Just chasing down a giant mind flayer. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, we have to be getting close to the end though. I told myself I was going to do at least another one, but it's already 1 in the morning for me. Because this match has been going on and on and on and on and on. You know, I actually wanted to get through all of the lower division bracket this weekend, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Seeing as how the last 3 matches I've streamed have been 2 hours each, pretty much. Alright, well, never mind. The last match I streamed was only an hour. But the other 2 before that were 2 hours long. So these matches have definitely been on the longer side for the lower bracket, and I think it just means that these are definitely more balanced battles, I suppose. The Marignan match still blows my mind that it was only like 16 minutes. This could be a better turn for Atlantis here, using the Bergmeisters. I think they still definitely have the advantage here. The horsemen the knights weren't able to do anything. They need to get a surround on the hobbits to really get anything going with them. But there's just too many in one like single square. Like I think they can have like 5 or 6 like diminutive-sized enemies or units rather in a single grid square, which really helps them out with having massive damage turns. Whereas you can only have 3 like human-sized people in a grid at once. I love my Giuseppe and his Pikeneers. Definitely. I'm gonna probably put him on my my bracket meme bracket image because we keep seeing Giuseppe, and if Giuseppe wasn't in this game, I don't think these nations wouldn't been able to push out as far as they did, as fast as they did. Just simply because of the strength of Giuseppe and his Pikeneers. These slingers aren't getting anything going. And no more Mind Blasts for the forces of Relay. And Relay is going to be making a retreat. Not even going to make it out. Oh my god, come on.
This match is going on far too long, Nawaz. So long. Though we're finally being able to see such a larger field of enemy, or rather, just mind flayers. So this is actually kind of interesting when we get to actually see some mind flayers.
I'm quite proud of my shitty Dark Elf / Dunmer hobbies voice. I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it doesn't really sound too, I guess it sounds kind of close to it. But then when I listen to like any recording of it back, it kind of sounds more like Patty or Selma from The Simpsons, or if I got like a tracheotomy or something, or like I'm a massive smoker and I have one of those like microphones that are just embedded into my like neck or throat rather.
But I don't really mind. I gotta get kinda into the voice, and it's hard for me to hear what I sound like when I'm not like having headphones in my ears.
And like when I don't use my like the word that I get into the voice, this is gonna be a huge non sequitur. But if you go onto my YouTube channel, and since like nothing's going on in this match really, it's a lot of back and forths. I've already covered pretty much everything I need to cover about these nations, or what I know about them rather. So I can go on non sequiturs and just talk about random stuff. But if you go on my YouTube channel and go through the hundreds of embarrassing videos that I've put up over the years. One of the videos I put up was for a school project where I wanted to do like a Metal Gear like homage, where like I call Kaz, and for some reason the voice that I do, I thought it was sounding more of like a big boss, like a hater voice for a big boss, all grumbly and stuff. But then when I heard it back in the replay, I was like, am I making a Dunmer voice for Morrowind? And then that's when I realized that I can kind of make a Dunmer voice, and also when I'm trying to imitate something, I clearly imitate it wrong. Like, it sounded nothing like Big Boss at all, obviously. It sounded like I was a dark elf. But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, but you can definitely see that. But like, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of it, despite it being crappy. I also can do some other voices and other impersonations and stuff, but I'm gonna save those for another day because they're a little bit more embarrassing than my my Dunmer voice. Oh man, I always wanted to be a voice actor. See, this is my issue right here. The forces of relay. That was really loud. I probably peaked my mic. I apologize. I got really loud for whatever reason. I don't know what happened. But the forces of relay could have taken this territory away from Atlantis when they had the cons right here. But they didn't do any assaults. They didn't take the chance, and as such, now there's a fort being built, have been built rather, protecting this church. This is very, I don't understand the computer sometimes. They make some very weird calls. Let's see what my Dominion's at. It's starting to actually start to falter here. We've lost the territory over here. We've lost a lot of the 2 candles. We just have some 2 candles left. But it's probably a few turns away from me losing like that, unfortunately. We're probably gonna end up having a theological victory before we have me being dom killed, unfortunately. Both of these factions are aggressive, and so that's a little strange for me to see them not wanting to declare war on Bandar Log, my faction, when it only has 1 territory. Maybe they just don't covet the territory enough. An assassination attempt unfortunately got completely halted by just 1 summon. Oh man, these forces are just attrition beyond belief. Is Relay gonna even get 1 territory this turn? They made so many aggressive calls. Commander's down. Ooh boy, oh boy. They better at least get 1 territory, and they should take this one. And they do. We won't need to see this one. Will they take this one as well? Back to Olentova. It'll be close. The Shamblers are nice and all, but the leader of the forces is right up in the shit right here. And the poison damage was just too much. The barbs was too much, and that's what I was concerned about. Relay is losing that. So Relay took 1 territory and all of that, and was not successful in their assassination attempt. And we'll see. What province is this? Really, I was gonna bet that Atlantis was gonna be able to take that with their forces. Oh boy, I feel like we might just need to like time travel, like a couple turns. This match has been going on way too long. Okay, we're just gonna time travel and look at the map differences here until we have a winning turn. So it looks like Atlantis successfully attacked this province while, okay, so Atlantis gets this one, so Relay gets that one. So far we're at 0 for either. Atlantis takes 2, Neutrals take that away from Atlantis. So Atlantis was good on this turn. They were able to take 3 provinces, which is good for them. And they were able to stop the siege here. So this is very bad for Relay. That's like a little bit of an understatement. Relay's not doing very good at this point, territory-wise. Territories are half the battle for Dominion. I don't know what happened to like Relay's forces. Like I don't know what they're doing with them. So actually check it out. They're not recruiting any units, and they're just chilling back at home with their mind flayers here. They're chilling at this front. Maybe they're thinking about assaulting the capital of Atlantis, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. They don't have a whole lot of like siege capability with what they have. Potential good turn for Relay here. Let's see. They take 1. They take 2. Take 3 because they are sieging this Atlantean fort. Where's the 4th one? 1, 2. I don't see, but I think okay. So Atlantis takes 1. So that was a good turn. What's the Mudfield do? Oh, it's just Earth Gems. That was a good turn for a Relay. But is it too little, too late? I don't really know. It's tough to say because we're not actually cheating it up and seeing the Dominion score graph. And I feel like this game might end at any point just because it's been going on for so long. The amount of Dominion growth just might be at the point of tipping the scales. There's a lot of red candles on the field, but there's also a lot. I think it's just these factions are just so evenly matched. And Dagon dies. Which one of these provinces did he die in? Visitor. Whoa, okay. Hold up. So they field Dagon in this province pretty much by himself? Oh, this is unfortunate. He doesn't die here, but he obviously gets pushed back. That is very unfortunate. They lose Dagon twice in one match. Unfortunate to say the least. We're on fast forward mode because this match has been going on quite some time. We're just seeing the difference of the map at this point. If you guys wanted to see like every single battle, I apologize, but since I don't think anyone's here, or if they are, they're just listening to my beautiful voice. We're just gonna fast forward through this until we have a winner. We're gonna look at the map every turn to see what changes. But at this point, it really looks like the Atlantean domination is really coming into play. Relay's having a hard time still making a landfall with their units, despite all having the ability to go on land with pretty much any one of their units, especially the really powerful mind flayers. They're able to do it, but they refuse to. But look at this Atlantean domination. I think Atlantis might be winning this one. We're gonna look at the special event because I'm gonna see what void beings are attacking here. Place your bets right now. Who's gonna win this? My bet is the void being. Oh, and of course I'm wrong. So once again, the 60% chance of me being wrong stands. So we always take whatever the opposite of my bet is, and you'll probably be right. My God, nothing is happening. I mean, a lot of assaults are happening, and Relay's making actually a good progress here. Unfortunately, I feel like this match is going on forever. Like they're sieging this fort, but that force is probably gonna be counter-killed. Like there's no doubt in my mind it's gonna be counter-killed. This is the largest force I've seen of commanders that Relay has. I just don't know if they're gonna do anything with them. I mean, they probably could take out Atlantis if I'm gonna be really honest here, but I don't think they are gonna have the guts to do that. Though we're getting to the end of the game here. A few more turns and I will be dom killed. So even if both of these forces are evenly matched in some facet, I'm getting killed slowly per turn. And I'm starting to see the Dominion growth of Atlantis. I think Atlantis is in the lead at this point. They are indeed in the lead in Dominion. I mean, I could be wrong in this assumption because just looking at the map, I think they are in the position to win this through Dominion. Though, you know, Relay is pushing up through the back lines. It's nice to see, but these churches are coming into play, rather. Not the one in Bandar Log, obviously. But these churches are coming into play for Atlantis. I don't see any churches being built other than like maybe these two right here by Relay, but they're going to lose possibly these territories by assaults of Atlantis. So all that money is being wasted. Let's see what like the unit count in the main base is. Not a whole lot. Some undead from some death magic. We got some decent ones. We got some othernesses. Actually, quite a bit of othernesses. I would like to see those being fielded by Relay, but there's a dark spot in my heart, like starting to like it's been growing this entire match, that I don't think Relay's gonna do it. I don't think they have it in them to win this. They were winning the Dominion game for sure early on, but unfortunately at this point I don't think they can win the Dominion game. And since Bandar Log's Dominion is so weak at this point, the game could end at any one of these turns. But if you look at this growth, I haven't been blind to the growth of these assaults by Relay. But it doesn't mean anything if the Dominion of these things are still being put into Atlantis. And that's indeed what's happening. Let's see. There's a lot of assaults by... Look, Relay is making assaults, don't get me wrong. They tried to assault this province of Atlantis and they were unsuccessful, but they were able to take these ones. They are probably going to lose this province right here. Let's actually see if they have any defending forces in it. They have one caster, one star child, not star child, but one star caller, whatever they're called, star spawn rather. And it looks like they actually bought the elephant squad, the elephant mercenary squad, so that's cool. Let's see. Actually, no, they actually have a province that can build elephants, so that's even better for Relay here. So this is the Mind Flayer force that has been doing the brunt of the assault on their way to this Atlantean force. And if we go back to the Atlantis side, they don't have a whole lot in their home base. I'm going to be real honest. If Relay assaulted the home base of Atlantis, they probably could take it if they put everything they had into it. Probably the same goes for Atlantis. If they consolidated their forces into a singular group, they probably would have been able to take it. But it looks like the Mind Flayer force met its match. But as a result, both of these forts down here are under siege by Relay. And Relay was able to hold with their elephants in this province, or maybe they lost the elephants, but they were able to hold this province. We're getting close to the end, I feel. Though we're still not there, unfortunately. There was a counter assault or an assault attempt by... I wish I could just click on it to see. Let's see what... This is Yildimeyer. Let's actually see what happens in Yildimeyer. So it looks like there was an attempt to break the assault there, but Relay was able to hold it. And all the gains made by Relay here, I knew it was only temporary. They weren't able to really hold any of it. The elephant unit of Dagon, though, is able to probably gonna siege this, almost guaranteed. But I feel like we're reaching the end here. And it happened. It was this turn that, like, I felt it in my bones. Year 6 here was when I was gonna die. So it looks like I have been dom killed, and we can look at this last turn of events. This is where we'll watch these last 2 battles, and we'll look at the score graphs. But I have a lot of fear in my heart that my boys of Lovecraft and D&D and all sorts of other influences, I feel like they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be out of this this season 1 tournament. Maybe they'll have a better showing at the next season or the off season, or maybe if I make like an all-star match or Pixel Bank's favorite series. Maybe they'll do better there. But hey, maybe they won. Maybe they won, guys. Who knows? We haven't looked at the Dom scores the entire game, but this will give us an opportunity to see if there's at any point they were winning, or if any point they were losing, or if they've been winning the entire time, or they've been losing the entire time. let's just watch these last 2 assaults by these 2. They gotta give them a round of applause, man. Like these 2 AIs have been fighting each other non-stop since like year 2 or year 1 in this game. Gotta love the aggressive AIs. We've seen some big battles, some small battles. We've seen some medium battles. We've seen just about everything. We've seen pretty much every unit being able to be fielded by either of these factions. We've seen how strong Mind Flayers are if you just mass them, but unfortunately the AI stopped massing them. And I think that's what really hurt Relay in the long term. They stopped being able to buy units, which really sucks for them. But yeah, this assault was very bad for them, and the defense by Relay was bad for them. So they lost basically 2 of the engagements here. So let us check the statistics here. Let's check the score graphs. Provinces have been doing this waveform thing because pretty much all provinces have been taken. There's only 2 that are really doing anything, but Relay is technically in the lead for provinces, I would say. Forts are a little bit lower. Income, they're probably about equal. Gem income is about equal. Research is double for Atlantis, not too surprised. Army size is higher. Oh, see, this is what I was worried about. See, when I was first calling it that it was possible for me to be taken out by one of these factions, right here in the middle, Relay was taking it. But as you can see, more than double the amount of Dominion going the way of Atlantis. Atlantis was very close for getting a natural Dominion theology win. But unfortunately, I cannot change fate here. And the winner, gotta say goodbye to my boy Dagon. The winner here is that of Pontos' Atlantis. So let us actually bring up the bracket here and see. So the next match is Jotunheim versus Citis. I don't have a whole lot of experience with either of them. I have played them. I know Jotunheim is the Frost Giants. They're kind of like the counter nation to that of Abyssia. A lot of the Frost Giants have chill, if I remember correctly, and they have frost power, so they really benefit in cold provinces. While Citis is the Lizardman faction. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to do this bracket now that my Gug that's dancing. Maybe he's dancing in anger, so maybe I'll put, like, angered signs instead of happy signs. So, if you're not unfamiliar, the thing dancing in the little corner of this is a Gug. It's from Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. I've always thought the way they're described, the mouth opening vertically, I don't know, I just always like that. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna actually turn off the bracket here so that you're left with the message so that people, if they join in, they know that I am gonna be setting up the next match. I'll catch you guys next time, or rather in just a little bit.